Yeah, man. You know what the production. The production's coming along. The production's coming along. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce your jam right here. Introduce Rashad Miller. He on the panel now, and so get him in here. This current video, one of his latest, one of his one who wanted to share.
It is not death the man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. The goal should be to die young, late as possible. The boundaries which divide life from death are a bit shadow we invade. But who's to say which one ends and the other begins? Welcome to Thug Heaven.
My nigga was a shooter like our dog on the block. Ay, ay, them niggas know better. He kill a nigga with no effort. If he missed a shot, he gon' spin the block. Fuck, nigga, I can't even front, homie, I miss you a lot. His body gone, but it's so with us. Ay, young thug, nigga, thug. Then he ain't thug him. Ay, ay. Look, now that I think back, he was the only funeral that I cried at. I swear they took my dog, but he took a life back. You was a soldier, boy, how you ain't survive? Ain't no sympathy if you die in the streets, you know it come with it. But I ain't gon' lie, I wish you wouldn't did it. You ain't brody with it, feel like I was hopping at that Honda Civic. Like anybody can get it, they ain't show no favoritism. Just cause you got a stick, that don't mean you gon' up, nigga. Why you had to go on that mission with no fuck niggas? Who would've thought a nigga from the hood and set you up, nigga? Ain't no coming back, so if it's up, then it's stuck, nigga. And we the same, man, just made different decisions. They always say that life will leave you dead or in prison. Stay out the way and take care of cheering. You blessed if you a street nigga and you went the distance. My nigga was a shooter like our dog on the block. Ay, ay, them niggas know better. He kill a nigga with no effort. If he missed a shot, he gon' spin the block. Fuck, nigga, I can't even front, homie, I miss you a lot. His body gone, but it's so with us. Ay, young thug, nigga, thug. Then he in thug heaven.
Ooh, that's my nigga, gotta get him. In my feelings and don't feel him. I'm spinning till I'm with him, nigga. Pressure, and niggas know better. We killing everything now, ain't no effort. Green, 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 that a union call. Same thing, one home, one gone, the people gone. Pistol poppin', sound like all in red boxes. Niggas hopping out with choppers bigger than they whole body. The last way we changed all them mistakes. Did away with 223s and now we all 308s, nigga. The airway lit his face like an X-ray. Now fuck a vest, what your neck say? I know. Street life, really the only life I know. And I'm like a green light, green light, green light. God have mercy on my soul. I know I wouldn't be alive. Why we can't let shit slide no more? These pussy niggas want me to die. Want me to pussy die. Nigga finna bleed tonight. Bitch gon' bleed tonight.
My nigga was a shooter like our dog on the block. Ay, ay, them niggas know better. He kill a nigga with no effort. If he missed a shot, he gon' spin the block. Fuck, nigga. Can't even front, homie, I miss you a lot. His body gone, but it's so. Bro, what the fuck, bro?
Growing up, people where I come from didn't have many goals. We just had to survive. If you out here with no reason to live, you will find a way to die.
Y'all better not start crying. Don't be trying to cry at the ending. Don't be trying to cry. Y'all was all tough guys just a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? So I watched the video earlier. I've seen quite a few of his videos, and I follow him on YouTube. But one of the things I'd say about that particular song in the video, man, it kind of brings it all full circle, right? We always talk about how hip hop used to give you both sides of the life. Back when we was coming up, when you listened to it, it wasn't necessarily that it was glorifying. It was just telling you what it was and how it can end on both sides, good or bad, right? And so I appreciate that about your music, man. And I think
appreciate that, bro.
and I think that in today's hip hop, it lacks a lot of balance. There's a lot of talking about what the street life is and how it could possibly benefit you, but they don't talk about that other side of it. They don't talk about the truth that, man, if you grow old, you lucky, and if you ain't in jail or dead, you damn sure lucky. Like, you the exception to the rule if you don't meet one of them crazy ends, man. And so that has me wanting to talk about hip hop's influence just from a cultural perspective, not even just from the music. Go ahead, jump on in there, Frank.
Oh, I thought bro was gonna elaborate.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him close it out. But go ahead, Frank. Give me your thoughts on this influence, man.
I'm trying to be hospitable. All right, so it definitely isn't a balance, and these days I can't listen to the music. I probably got I got literally a couple of days worth of music, like out by hours. I got literally a couple of days worth on my playlist with just rap, and vast majority of it is back from the 90s to the early 2000s, like 2001. I got maybe a couple of recent songs, but it's from people from back then that just made something new. The stuff now, it seems like everybody is what's being mass produced now. It's like the same little boy that's cloned over and over and over again, and it's mindless chatter. You know what I'm saying? Like it serves no purpose other than, oh, it's just something to dance to. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't even have. It don't got a rhyme. They don't got to ride the beat. Nothing. Give me a beat. Give me a studio and a microphone, and then I'm gonna just mouth off to the beat, and everybody's gonna love it. And these young niggas love it. Like, y'all niggas retarded. And that's the only way that it's like, y'all gotta be retarded. And I'll include my kids in there. I love them, but the stuff they listen to, like, are y'all slow? It's like this stuff. It sounds so.
Wait, you know I'm finna push back. You know, bro. You know the shit we listen to.
Nah, I know what you about to say. It ain't the same. It is not the same.
He's not. It's really not.
Chicken head. Chicken. Come.
But listen to the lyrics of the song, though. Like, it's a whole story.
I get it. No, now Project Pat wouldn't. But I mean, who you want me to get? I can go with there's a lot of foolishness. I think we listen to a degree of foolishness, man. I would say I still do think, man. I'm not trying to be one of them old cats that always like our era was better. Now we feel that way. Listen, of course, man. I feel that way by default, man. Like my boy Pat Poop said, your era is an error. Somebody should have corrected it. I feel like that about this current era.
That's a bar.
It is.
That's a bar.
No, that was his bar. He said, your era is an error. Somebody
That's a bar. That's a nice bar. I like that.
And so I feel like that a lot, but I'm also, every now and then I'll tap into what I hear. And sometimes I'll hear something from something new, and I'm like, okay, they not all like that. What I think has happened, though, is the majority of the bullshit by default is pushed to the forefront as opposed to the stuff that's balanced and thorough and takes effort. It's not pushed. It's really not. And I'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit, but go ahead, Sheffy. Give me your take a little bit.
So I remember reading about this a ways back, and it said, hip hop first started. It was kind of about dancing and your crew and all of that. Then it became about the struggle of the drugs, selling drugs, and the life. Then it became about the money you got from selling drugs. Then it became about just doing drugs. So we're in the era of the just doing drugs.
Yeah, she ain't lying.
And that's why some of the music sounds like this. Like, it's a lot of artists I do like. Like, I like DaBaby. He is probably one of the most balanced between this current era, and he actually has freaking bars. Like,
I've heard that. So I've heard that about
him. Got bars now,
but I've never gave him. But I'll say this: I've heard. So I listen to other rappers talk about rappers a lot, because even if I don't get into a rapper's music, when I hear rappers that I respect and they chime in and they drop a name, and I'm like, wait, they say DaBaby, and I still ain't really listened to him. But somebody said he actually got some
DaBaby
bars.
nice.
Listen, hey, bro, listen.
He does.
And go ahead, Shell.
But then you fall back on the whole drug thing, and that's when you get the Lil Yachty's and that other boy who called himself coming after J. Cole, who we ain't heard from ever since.
Oh.
What's his name? Lil Pump.
Oh, that nigga.
Yeah. J. Cole sunned him so bad, we ain't heard from that boy since. And then you have your J. Cole's, who he's still putting out quality material. Everything come off Dreamville is hot. JID or JID, whatever, hot. But you're right. This isn't the stuff that's kind of pushed. It's most of the kind of dance club music that is pushed. But in even our time, it was the club music that was pushed. There was an episode of the Wu-Tang story, American Saga, where it was pretty much an episode about GZA's album, and he was fighting against the record companies, like, why are you trying to turn hip hop pop? So it's literally no different than it was then, except now we have many more opportunities with streaming media, with streaming media, to listen to the junk, but we also have the same opportunities to listen to the hotness. Like Nas's most recent album, fire, fire.
It's like you almost, honestly, what has happened now is they're gonna push what they want to push. Yes. You as a consumer have to find what you want to listen to. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be willing to find. You gotta be willing to find your own. Because there's no way I would have came across Griselda if I didn't already have an algorithm built into my selection stream that would have pushed that sound. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you've been online,
it's long enough. Amazing rappers out here right now.
It is, man. I honestly, I'll go as far as to say this.
You know what she's talking about over there.
She do, and I'm gonna let you go in just a second, Rashad. I go as far as to say this. I look at rap and hip hop like I look at basketball. What you see on the basketball court, today, with what them do, I'm sorry, there's nobody in the history of basketball can do what Kyrie Irving does with a basketball. I don't care what era you love, you don't got nobody on the earth in the history that can do what Kyrie Irving does just from a purely skill standpoint. And when you listen to some of these rappers in battle rap, and when you listen to some of these rappers when they really decide to go bar crazy, there is, like, even these current rappers right now, the old rappers are like, yo, these dudes now, they're building on what we established and they're getting better at it. Like, them triple entendres and all that, and all the stuff that you think these do, bro. It's the battle rap scene. Don't even take me to battle rap, because I'm sorry, if you're a fan of whoever your favorite rapper from the 90s is, whoever your favorite rappers from the 90s is, I'm gonna say it right now, whoever your favorite rappers from the 90s is, could not step on a battle rap stage and see the basic most competitive guy now. They could not do it.
Nah,
That's a
Eminem got
different art
that.
form.
I say
Eminem
except
already got
somebody like Jay-Z or
Yeah.
Biggie,
But
Jay-Z
you
can
got
battle rap.
look, but they've been doing though. Now it's a difference, like because I actually battle rap too, so it's like it's different. It's different. You can have the lyrics to do it, but it's a different type of stage presence and aura you have to have and crowd control. So, but as far as the lyrics goes, like Biggie and people like Jay-Z, like they've been double, triple entendres since way
right.
back then. So if they were just able to get the performance aspect and the crowd control, because it ain't no beats on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they can get that part down, I think they'll be able to do it. Like people like that. Not everybody, not even something like I don't even think people like KRS-One can get up there and do it. They get smoked. You seen what happened to Cannabis. You know what I'm saying? So like he'll get up there and get smoked bad. Like, cause that type of stuff, that type of rap is not flying on stage. They're gonna look at you like, boy, what are you talking about?
Let me tell you. I'm telling you for real, man.
Right,
when them battle rappers started, when they did the tag team format, where it was 2 versus 2, and them dudes started rhyming off each other and sequencing their rhymes, and bro, I was like, yo, like what two rappers can get on the stage with these two, bro? I think it was K-Shine and DNA.
Yeah.
And I remember watching them one time, and I said, look, one of these dudes versus an all-time great, I can see them holding up. But there's no 2 all-time greats that's just gonna decide they're gonna step on that stage tomorrow and just get beat. Man, I'm telling you. Listen. He gonna
all day.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying they gonna need a lot of time together. I'm talking about a lot because listen, Black Thought or whoever you want.
Black Thought gonna need a lot of time.
I bet you. Let me tell you something. I bet you if you
gruesome, man.
Let me tell you. I bet you good money if you ask them rappers, could y'all go compete? Because whenever you ask rappers, can y'all go do that today now? And they be like no.
I mean, most of them can't because they can't breathe good. They all
fat. Bro, them dudes, like Rashad said, that pressure's a little bit different when you got a crowd right there. You got to remember your bars. You got to know when to rap, when to be quiet. Your partner got to jump in. Keep the crowd calm. Keep the boys on the stage behind you calm. Make sure you got.
They go into that stuff.
Man, battle rap is a different. It's another art form. It's same germ. I mean, it's under the umbrella of rap, but it's different. It's like being an artist. Like I had to explain to somebody, a client that, I'm an artist. I do comic book art. I can't do animation with the same level of expertise, the same level of whatever. It's not gonna look the same. Now, if you put some panels in front of me, I can knock that out. But when you tell me to make these characters move, I can't do that. Like, but you're an artist. No, that's not my lane.
It would take you. It would take you time in that. Like it would take. And look, listen. I don't want to big him up right now. Damn, I hate when they start talking about art and they start talking about.
Up your friend. That's your homie.
He know what I'm finna say, man. That look, man. He kind of the art god. He kind of the art god, you know what I'm saying? But that's how me and him.
Ass a little bit.
He is. Listen, that's how we became friends. Is because the dude who I thought was the best in my elementary school, I'm like, oh man, Jesse Malone. If you ever hear this, hey bro, it is what it is. I was like, Jesse the best. And so we got into class, and this dude sitting there. Back then, he had no beard. He was baby face with some glasses and a big ass head. You know what I'm saying? And he talking about he was the best. I'm like, man, get out of here, man. And I was decent, right? I was good enough. I could hold my own. And we would draw, and we'd get an assignment, and I'm still working on mine at the end of class, and I need to take it home to come back. He done knocked out the assignment 3 times over, and it looked good already. And I was like, okay, man, look, this nigga cheat. I'm going there. Look, I'm going to move. I'm moving his papers out the way to see if he tracing. Nothing got me tracing. Man, ain't nobody this good. Ain't nobody this good.
Got that man's sketchbook.
But he's absolutely right, man. Like when you talented like that, maybe in a particular lane, you need time to adjust to another lane.
But that's what I'm saying. You got to think about some of those dudes came from battle rap. Eminem
it's different. It's different though. It's different though.
But when you
get on stage, see, they was battling a lot of times with beats on, like them old school niggas. A lot of times they was battling with beats and stuff. So when you get on stage, you already got a beat to carry you. So when they start playing the beat, the crowd already like, all right. Now all you gotta do is come with some fire lyrics. But when you get on that stage today, it's crickets. They don't care who you is, what era you came from. I'm talking about the battle rap crowd do not care about your stardom and nowhere else. Man, Drake was on stage at URL. He was like, yeah, y'all make some noise. They was like, nigga,
Drake ain't no battle rapper. Drake ain't never gonna be no battle rapper. I'll give him, he the GOAT right now, but battle rapping, nah, never.
But I want to kind of go back to not to like go all the way back, but I want to kind of say something about like the errors and stuff. And the error, I think the major difference is back then, most people that did music really did music because they loved it. These days, people just doing it because they see some money. So if they see, oh, this dude right here, he hot because he did this type of style, I often do that style too. I probably can make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like they hustling.
2-minute ass songs,
and it's promoted.
So mad, 2 minutes.
Think about this, right? I'm gonna bring that full circle because it's promoted to young dudes to do it like that. Because you gotta think about what you just said, Sheffy, when he was saying they were trying to turn it pop. I remember kind of tying both of these things together. What he just said about battle rap, they don't care where you from, what you good at. I saw the battle with Joe Budden and I forget what the dude was. Joe Budden got up there, and Hollow the Don. Joe Budden got up there, and the fact that he couldn't move the crowd, you saw that it was messing with his delivery, and he couldn't really get into it.
And Joe Budden, like one of like the best lyricists, like
ever.
Like he's cold, you know what I'm saying?
But then a battle rapper, like.
But hold on, but you go back though. Talk about when Joe Budden is talking about what the record labels did to him. All he wanted to do was rap and do it his way and get recognized. But they said, no, you got to make money doing this. So we need you to do this. Rappers in his era, they rap because, like he said, they loved rapping and they wanted to also they wanted the respect of their peers. And if they could make a living doing it, great. Rappers today, they don't care nothing about the respect of their peers. They don't care nothing about how, if you think they got bars or not. They want the bag because the
bag is how they get the respect of their peers, though.
That's how you get the respect. The thing is the money thing. You got the brick of money. People respect the brick of money. They don't respect how dope you are no more. And I think that's changed. I think it's going to eventually come back, man. I think eventually it's going to come back to rap. Music is cyclical. It's going to eventually come back to the point where people is like, I ain't
gonna cut you off, bro. But I used to be like, cause I started rapping when I was 13. So, and that was like in 2006 or something like that. So I was doing I did in all forms of rap, whether it was conscious rap, whether it was every rap you can name, battle rap, like effectively. But I had to kind of I used to be like, man, if you weren't rapping like this, or like, cause J. Cole, my favorite rapper. So I'm like, man, if you not doing this type of rap, I ain't trying to hear it. But then I had to learn to for this is entertainment now. You feel me? So I had to learn all right, you can still like the song y'all just heard. That song comes from a real place. That's not a, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really happened. Like that's not like, oh, this rapper doing this, so I'm finna mimic what they doing. Like my next song I'm finna drop is On the Spectrum. That's about autism. You know what I'm saying? So I'm that artist that's gonna spread my wings, whatever. But artists these days, they not gonna do that. It just I had to learn that this is a business, man, and they want to jam it too. Like you can still speak your truth, you can still do what you do, but they want to be able to jam it. It's more like a vibe these days. You know what I'm saying? More than like everybody just trying to like say the best rhymes. Cause bro was finna put another video up where I'm just spitting straight bars, but I'm like.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
done been through that phase to where bars don't have replay value like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nah, it's true.
They gonna listen to it. Oh man, he's snapping. But are they gonna come back and come back and come back to listen to the same
They
bars?
do though. They do.
So
they
like,
can see those big old words. Who ain't still knocking that?
no, we'll see what he's saying, but what he's saying is like for on the as far as the numbers go,
Okay.
I'll go back and listen to it.
Absolutely.
But the larger demographic, they're not gonna go back to it.
Right, like cause look at the video I just showed y'all. Like there's a whole storyline to it. So I was just like, nah, I don't really want them to see, oh, he got bars. I want them to see more of the creativity I put behind my visuals and things like that. Like that was really like a whole movie that a lot of people not see. Back then they was doing stuff like that. These days they just at the corner store just chilling with all their partners. I could have did that with that song, but I was like, nah, let's really make a real let's make a real movie, like, and show like everything you saw in that video was real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course, with a little exaggeration to be entertaining, but it was like real life though. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different now. Like people we want to like really just vibe, and I don't know. But you still got like she said, like the J. Cole's of the world. You got the Raspity. You know what I'm saying? She hard. You got 3D and the T. You know what I'm saying? Like so. To which I was saying, I think we as consumers, because I'm still a consumer, and it's like instead of saying what they are putting out, I know we got Spotify. Like back then, it was just the radio to where you had to listen to what they putting. You don't gotta listen to the radio now. You go to YouTube, you go to Spotify, tell to go search all the artists you want to listen to. Kendrick Lamar's of the world, the Absols of the world. It's Benny the Butcher. He knew. You know what I'm saying? Like he a newer artist, like, and he's talking for real, like rapping. So it just up to us. We gotta get out the mental program because of the masses and go to and make those artists big. You feel me? We can make those artists big, but I feel like just not just with music, just with anything we don't like, we be ready to be like, nah, I don't like that, but we gonna share it though. Like, why are you gonna share it if you don't like it? Now you giving that more clout than you gonna give your favorite artist. You feel me? Yeah. Like, so it just kind of, you know, that's all I have to say about it though. Y'all can go back to the better stuff now.
No, you can't. No, but you make sense now. But other thing I want to jump into, because so, bro, this it's crazy. This is crazy because I gotta call us out a little bit, and I'm calling out my era just a little bit. So there was a lot of talk at one point in time about these rappers are rapping this, but they ain't really about that life, right? And that was when when you know where I'm going. But hold on, so a lot of people used to talk. These rappers is rapping it, but they ain't about that life. And it didn't matter what it was. It was whether it was drugs and selling dope and getting bodies and whatnot. A lot of people was talking about these rappers ain't about their life. Well, them boys up in Chicago, they was not rappers. And then they decided that they was already about that life, and then they just started rapping. And I didn't know nothing, bro. I was oblivious to it. Hell no. I'm talking about this whole drill music movement. Chief Keef, FTG, Doug, all the way to King Von. Bro, listen, I was oblivious to these cats for a good stretch. And then when I started paying attention, I'm like, yo, these dudes are getting indicted. And we're not talking about getting pulled over for traffic stops for something like, bro, like these dudes was in them street. Like, I'm like, yo, and then you started, and I don't know if you go check out the King Von documentary and some of the other ones. These dudes are tweeting what they're doing and getting prosecuted, but the prosecutors ain't making it up. These are factuals. Like everywhere, I'm like, so the dude rapped about killing and he did it, and people confirming it. Now he's getting indicted, but before he can go to jail for it, somebody come back and get him. And this is not one rapper, two rappers, three rappers. It's several of these dudes.
Even way down in Florida and everywhere else.
So even up in Jersey, Sue Surf, one of my favorite battle rapper, and that he's a battle rapper that actually crossed into the mainstream. And like he's getting hit with a RICO charge, but when you listen to his lyrics and you like, oh, he was not just talking. This is so the era. I think a lot of people push that. Oh man, these dudes just talking. Well, a lot of dudes that was living said, okay, well, we finna talk about it too. Now that's stupid, but it's what people ask for. To a degree, it's what people ask for.
So I want to go back to the when I said these artists don't love it. You feel me? They doing it like how you say they was already they killing each other. They doing whatever they doing, and they feel like, all right, now this music is how I can get out. They don't. Like, how many artists these days, like, you hear say, man, I ain't no rap nigga. Like, back then, you didn't hear that. They were like, no, I'm an artist. I rap. Like, I'm this. Now they trying to tell you they rapping, but trying to tell you they not a rap person. Like, they don't, how that makes sense? That's because they don't love it. They not in love with it. They just using it to get a little change or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's saturating the game. That's it. And they're just saturating the game, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, what can you do?
And then there's a market for it though. There's a market for those.
Right.
Who was it? It was listen, even Pusha T. Now, Pusha T is so crafty. Listen, I'm like, yo, bro, like this, he's super crafty with what he says and how he says it. Even the titles of stuff, it's always so elusive that you're like, wait, and he even says that though. He was like, yeah, these is rappers. Like somebody asked him one time, they said, of these rappers that's out now, and this was years ago, but they asked him, they said, who's really about that life? And he was like, maybe one or two. Now this was before the Chicago scene jumped on, but he was even saying, and people were looking at him, and people that knew him was kind of like, yeah, there's certain things that he raps about that's equal. But he was even kind of one of them dudes at a certain point in his career was like, I'm not a rapper. I ain't one of these rap dudes. Like he's saying, I ain't one of these rap dudes. You know, I'm something else. I just so happen to rap. But there became a market for that authenticity, so to speak.
But the authenticity was there in our generation. What DMX and them were rapping about, they were actually doing.
No, oh yeah.
It's when the 2000s came. That's when you got your Rick Rosses, and it's like,
yeah.
And I think the social media. I think social media just is the difference. In all honesty, like, because back then they was doing all that crazy stuff, man. They was doing shootouts at the radio stations, all that, but it wasn't no filming. It wasn't no filming to where, all right, you can go back on YouTube and look at this artist doing that, or they talk about it.
There wasn't no tweet the day before, and then the action then happened, and then the rap comes out, and you're right.
But is it? All right, I got a question. Is it safe to say if social media was popping back then, would those artists be doing the same thing that the artists do today?
No.
Yeah, they would.
Hold on. Because the reason why I asked that question is because you see a lot of our OGs getting online doing a lot of talking now, and you be like, dang, I ain't think he would be the one getting on here talking. Like, why is he talking? He's supposed to be the OG. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them from back then, they getting online now. So I'm like guessing like they would have been doing the same thing had they had social media. You know what I'm saying? I honestly believe that.
That's the only reason they talk about it.
Running their mouth too.
You know what? I think so. I remember DMX had the song "Here We Go Again," and the dude paints a whole story about robbery. and he's talking about robbing rappers. He's talking about robbing dope boys because DMX flat out said, "I wasn't selling nothing. I was part of a robbing crew." Well, when you listen to his peers and other people from that same time, they were like, DMX was a rapper. He loved to rap, but to get money, that's what he did.
They were stick-up kids.
They were stick-up. So to Rashad Miller's point, if you put social media in their hands, would they had been bragging about, yeah, I just went ahead and got 10 bands off of this dude who thought I caught this dude lacking, would they have been rapping about, yeah, I caught somebody lacking, I'm spending somebody else's money right now? Remember Dirty, remember Frank, what's the song by Too Deep Creeping by Dirty?
6 Deep Creeping.
6 Deep Creeping, yeah. And that whole song, they like when you listen to it, you like, wait a minute, did they just rob this dude and take his car and then eat his cheese pizza? And you like,
large pepperoni.
Large pepperoni.
Pizza, ham with extra cheese.
Ham with extra cheese. Well, you're like, he said, what did he say? He said, I got keys, I got these, I got me a large pepperoni pizza, ham with extra cheese. Now we too deep creeping in his Capri, sitting them on these. I'm like, did they just rob the dude and take his food too?
Yeah.
And when you think about it, go back and look at the movie. What's the movie? Menace to Society. When Kane jumped in old dude's car, he said, "Order me a burger too." Like dudes were going the extra. So like I get Rashad, you make a very valid point. If you run it back and put social media and cell phones into people's hand and they get to talk about it, would they have talked about it, bro? It's almost like, hey, if we had cell phones back in the day, what?
Cause look, I raise an example, right? When I don't know if y'all familiar, you know what I'm saying, when NBA Youngboy was out here and his house got broken into or whatever, then you had Jay Prince online with the dudes who allegedly did it. And then so it was like, why? And he was like, yo, YB, I got your car back, come get it back, whatever. But it's like, nobody expected somebody of Jay Prince's stature to even get online with their stuff and be like, why are you getting online saying you got somebody's stuff back when you could have just hit them up personally?
Attention whore.
Yeah.
So that's why I really believe, like, if somebody like that to do it, then you got other OGs, or I ain't gonna call them OGs because they ain't my OGs. So it's like you got other older people doing that too. So that's why I really believe if it was there in their face, they would have did it. And I don't think they would have did it right off the bat, because everything takes time. Everybody wasn't doing it when social media first came. It took a little minute for people to just get loose with it. Like now, everybody just loose with it. Everybody posts everything they doing now.
And you gotta also realize the demographic of people we're talking about are dudes in their young 20s, man. Listen, go listen to Kevin Giles' interview. Kevin Giles was a dope boy in the 70s, came up, and he comes up in that era of Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying? The movie Paid in Full, that's Kevin Giles' era. But one thing he made really good sense was he was talking about, yeah, we was dope boys. He said, but y'all got to understand, he said, while everybody was judging Rich Porter and saying what he should have did and saying what this guy and what we should have did, he said, think about this. He said, we was between 15 and 22 years old. He said, none of us was even 20. He said, so y'all expected, he said, so you had teenagers running around with hundreds of thousands in their pocket with millions in a house somewhere, driving cars, doing whatever they want to do. And y'all expecting us to be able to make decisions about our future when we're not even thinking we're going to live long enough to spend the money that we got. He's like, I'm only here because I went to prison. That preserved me, and he speaks to that. He said, so think about that. So I look at hip hop. If you 22 years old, you 20 years old in hip hop and you got millions, who are you going to listen to? Who? Ja Morant is a basketball player. He's making millions. Who? You think he listening to LeBron? Like LeBron can go tell him something because he been there. He ain't finna listen. He ain't listening to his own daddy. What's gonna make him listen to LeBron? You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got to hit a wall You got to be going. You got to go 100 miles an hour and survive that car crash for you to wake up and be like, oh, ooh, it was close.
Look at
You know what I'm saying?
Even Tupac, even the situation with Tupac, like
He
a
was
lot of people.
young.
He was young. He died when he was 26. He was doing a lot of stuff in his early 20s and stuff. So a lot of times we don't really understand or remember that because because of his how I want to say this, like just what he stand for, his movement, and the Black Panther in him. We felt like he was older than what he was, but he's still young and still trying to figure it out. You feel me? So yeah, it just a lot of these people was young.
What's his name?
When
I listened to what's his name? Not the big Puerto Rican guy.
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
Oh.
And when he said he talked to these names be getting to me, but Fat Joe talked to what's the clown dude that went to jail and snitched on everybody? 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Master Splinter.
Fat Joe. Yeah, Fat Joe.
Yeah, that's the right name for him. That's the right name.
Fat Joe said, Fat Joe's like, man, I talked to this young dude. He said he talked to this young dude before everything came his way. And he said, bro, you got to sit down. He said, you got to sit down because the way you moving with who you moving, you are the one they're going to come after. They're not coming after the gangbangers. They're not coming after nobody else. You the artist. You known, you the face.
You the money.
They coming to get you the money. They coming to get you. And he said, Fat Joe was like, yeah, man. Okay, I'm listening, OG. I'm listening. And turn right back around and keep doing what he's doing. It's like, man, you feel invincible when you that young. And you got money and you got fans. And you've been getting away with it up until that point. So it's like, man, you can't stop them. But what can be done? Maybe nothing can be done. Maybe nothing.
Social media is still the issue. As long as these kids are getting attention, they're going to feel invincible. It was different back then because the attention you got, like even looking at the American Saga, Wu-Tang got most of their attention from their hood. So when they got the mansion out in Jersey, who was there? People from Staten Island. They weren't known, hugely outside of New York at first. And then when they became known, they still didn't feel the attention from us down here in Georgia, even though we was watching Wu-Tang too. But when you got all of these people on your page shining your ass all the time, it makes you feel invincible. Because you're like, well, I'm so much of a pillar in the public, can't nobody touch me. That's exactly when they're gonna touch you. That makes you easier to touch. It makes you easier to touch. Like it used to be a point in time. I remember when they were talking to Boosie, and he said, "Why'd you leave Louisiana?" He said, "Because I can't move in Louisiana." He said, "The streets want me, and the law want me." He said, "There's no way I'm going back to Baton Rouge." He said, "I will never." He said, "Whenever he go back and he's out the same 24 hours. He don't stick around even to this day." He said, "No, Project Pat." Somebody interviewed Project Pat and they said, "Do you go to North Memphis?" And he's like, "Yeah, when I go to my daddy's church and then I come back. I go back to my house." No, I don't. I can't go back there and just move around like I'm not known for what I used to do and how I used to move. That's these older rappers saying it now. Like, no, you can't just do what you want to do. But it's social media. You're right. It has people feeling so loved, like they can go anywhere and do anything they want to do, and ain't nobody, because they love them, that nobody's gonna touch them. But it's you, just how you have so many people love you, you got so many people hate you too.
Absolutely.
People don't think about that.
And the saddest part is what's gonna get a street dude known the most? Known that he's a street dude, or known that his name was mentioned in an indictment for knocking off a rap dude?
Yeah.
And then and if he beats that case, now he can go become a rapper.
Bruh. And see that right there, I'm gonna be real. That's the frustrating part for me, because like I be putting together all these creative videos and did this, that, and the third. Then you got somebody who just then shot somebody and then he got out. And then you got Say Cheese posting, oh, Lil Wet, then got out off of murder. And then he got all these. It's like, all right, bro, y'all just messing everything up. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, also, all you gotta do is shoot somebody and get out and then he on. Like, come on, man.
that's the way it is.
Like, come on, bro. That would be frustrating for me.
That's what Blue like. That King Von. That's kind of the way it happened. It's like when he came out of jail, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I just beat a charge." You know what I'm saying? A murder in 2 bodies or attempted murder in a body, and people like, "Wait, what?"
He sounded happy about that too. Like,
yeah, and
like,
yeah, and they were like, "Wait, you beat that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then so
Solomon said, "How you beat it?"
yeah, but you knew at that point. I'm just saying that has to be frustrating for you as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I got to go do something crazy for folks to make my name pop, and then they'll pay attention to my talent.
Yeah, you feel like that, but you don't do nothing stupid. Like, you gotta stay your course. You feel me? Because if it's for you, it's for you. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta study your course. Like, that's why, like I say, I get frustrated. Like, dang, why these videos ain't getting recognized how it's supposed to when, you know what I'm saying, they in front of the corner store and they got 1 million views, but it's like, that's not gonna last long. You feel me? So once you keep grinding and doing what you supposed to do, for you, if you stand yourself and you pop, it's just it's gonna last longer. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be worth more than the microwave stuff they got going on. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely,
you gotta stay your course. You know what I'm saying?
You can't, man. I say it all the time, and I've said it in reference to what we do here. That viral moment comes with a cost. Either you got to keep duplicating that shit that made you go viral, or you got to do something else. So it's better to just sit inside yourself and do what you do the way you do it, and let the people gravitate to you slowly but surely, as opposed to me to get up here and Sheffy, she have a moment where she show the titties, and I have a moment where I show my ass, and then they're like, "Oh, them all wild out, man. Let's see what they gonna do next." They see what they gonna do next, and then we sitting here like this.
More than the shoulders.
Right. And you ain't even showing the shoulders. You ain't even showing the shoulders today. She all covered up, looking like a nun over there.
And by J. Cole being my favorite, one of my favorite artists, like, he really like my top 2 favorite artists. Like, he had to stay the course, you know what I'm saying? He was getting turned down left and right. Now, if he would have been like, all right, I'm gonna start rapping like them, he probably wouldn't even be in the game right now.
And that man worked
over $100 million. You gotta make sure you are talented, though. You gotta have some type of talent, though.
Right.
Like, you can't just stay the course and be talentless. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got it, like, J.
End up 45 trying to still be a rapper.
Example.
Wait, what you say? Hold on, what you say? Be 45 and still trying to be a rapper?
Yeah, that's them guys who stay the course and they suck.
Oh, hey, y'all just wait. Y'all just wait. I go back to drop.
Don't make me go back to 1999.
What? Y'all just wait. I'm gonna jump back out here. And I'm gonna be lying too.
Don't play with it.
Listen, wait. I'm letting people know now. I'm finna lie. I'm finna lie about the streets. I'm finna lie about where I'm from. I'm finna lie about what I done. I'm finna lie about how many children I have. I'm finna lie about how many bodies I don't got. I'm gonna tell y'all all this dope I done pushed. I'm gonna lie my ass off, but I'm gonna make it sound good when I do it. I'm just gonna make it sound good. And I'm gonna be like 50. I'm gonna be like 50-year-old, and I'm just gonna make up a whole fake persona, and it's gonna go. I don't care. I don't feel bad about it.
Hey, as long as you can. Hey, look, hip hop is getting older, so you know a lot of people are blowing up a little. I ain't gonna say 40 and all that, but like, you know what I'm saying. You got a lot of artists that are blowing up now they are blowing up at an older age because everybody getting older. Even the people that like hip hop back then, they getting older too. So now if you got an artist that come out that is talking the stuff you like to hear, and he knew. It's still 35 and up fans that want to go to concerts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
the ones with money.
If you can get high, you just gotta, I don't know, right? You just gotta be like relatable to whoever your core audience is. You know what I'm saying? Or who you want your core audience to be.
you know what they was, and I'm gonna move on to the next subject after this. But they were talking about 3 Stacks had said, and they was talking about this on Math Hoffa's podcast, and one of the guys I forget his name, but he was talking about how Andre 3000 made him upset by saying, "I'm too old. Rap is a young man's sport," and he said, he asked like, "Why do you feel like that?" He said, "Well, I'm not cool no more." And he said it pissed him off because, like, 3 Stacks, you got a whole generation of people that waiting for you. You ain't got to appeal to these new people. There's a whole core audience that's waiting for you. Do what you've always done. That's what we want. But like Rashad said, hip hop has gotten older, and the people that were doing hip hop back then young, hip hop didn't have enough history for people to think like, oh man, you can do this when you're older. It wasn't like jazz. Jazz has fans all over the world and has had that because it's been around so long. Hip hop was still in its infancy, or it was a toddler at the time the 90s popped off. So now, 20 years later, it's like, man, can I still do this? And
man, 3 Stacks to drop a whole album with a pan flute, and I'm still listening.
Now, he could drop on Christmas Eve. He could drop an album with no announcements. It could just hit somewhere. And the first person that says, yo, I just finished listening to a 3 Stack album and post it to any social media, it's going to blow. It ain't gonna need no videos. It ain't gonna need no warning. It ain't gonna need nothing. It's just gonna blow because people want it.
This nigga he started an Instagram page. He got one drawing of an ant. One drawing of an ant. And I think it was an ant because when I found out he was on Instagram, I was like, I need to go find this nigga. So I looked him up and I was like, wait, this nigga got one picture. This nigga got over 1 million followers.
Yes, we waiting.
And he don't do nothing. That page is so inactive, but he still got like 1 million followers.
A Christmas album with him on a pan flute. I'm telling you, double platinum.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter, man. It's crazy. That is crazy to me.
There's only a few artists that can do that too. Like
only
Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Andre 3000. But the baby, those are the people.
Yeah, the baby. You know what it is, man. It's when you hit a certain status with your talent, and people can see past the gimmick. Like you can have a gimmick, and that's cool. Like you said, you can have a gimmick, but when the talent is undeniable, bro, it's just the talent is undeniable. I'm gonna jump on to this next subject matter. We always talk about a little something on the dating and relationship theme. That's what we do. We always cover that. And so somebody said something about instant dates. There's a thing called instant damn dates. And so it's new to me. I'm gonna play this video and we're gonna talk about it.
Please tell me if I'm wrong, but I've consulted 3 whole people on this, and they all told me that I was right for leaving. I was supposed to go on a Starbucks date. This is what I was getting. I don't drink coffee. Anyway, we met on the apps, and I'm back on the apps, unfortunately. And this guy, very attractive, he says he likes to do instant dates. So since it's Bumble, I have to message him first. So I was like, what is an instant?
Did you know there's now something called instant dating, where people show up for the dates, and if they don't care for what they see, they put in no effort and they simply bounce. I am so done. I'm so done with all this.
He goes, let's meet tomorrow. This was Tuesday. I was working, so we were going to meet today. I get there like 10 minutes early. I'm chilling in my car, and I see what I think is him pull up like across from me, and he doesn't move. So I go to the Bumble, and he messaged me, and he's like, are you here? And I was like, yeah, I'm chilling in my car. And I wave through my windshield at him. He's looking at me, and I wave, and he doesn't wave back. he gets out of his car, starts walking towards the Starbucks, like past my car. He has to pass my car to get to the door. And so I'm getting out of my car because he didn't stop at my car or anything. And so I'm getting out to go say like hello and stuff. And he like closed the door in my face. So then he's already sitting down. He's sitting down like when I get inside Starbucks, right? And like I wave there also like while he's sitting down. And he just kind of looks at me funny. And then I'm like, well, maybe this is the wrong person, right? So I go to the line, and I'm ordering my drink. And while I'm ordering my drink, I'm on Bumble, like trying to see if this is the right person. So I'm looking at him, and I look at him, and it's him. So he doesn't come up over to me at all in the line either. Then I'm waiting for my drink. He doesn't come over there while I'm waiting for my drink. And at that point, I've been in the Starbucks because they were busy for like 10 minutes. And with nothing. Silence. Like, I've tried to talk to you twice. You shut a door in my face. And then you didn't speak to me. You're already sitting down. Like, you didn't come up to me or anything. So I get my drink and I walk past him. I go to my car. I get in my car, I go to Bumble so I could be like, that was fucking rude, like you wasted my time. And he was like, well, you have a good day too. What? I don't think I'm wrong for leaving. Let me know. Because I feel like I have like crazy high standards, but like that was like the bare minimum and you failed. Right? Okay, thanks.
Where you going? There you go.
So are people treating real life, real time, like it's an app?
Yeah.
So people are, look, bro. People are swiping right in real life. Listen. Okay, so at first I was a little. At first I was like, man, that's messed up, man. That's messed up. When I thought about it, bro, do you know there's been a few dates that I've sat through. And I'm a gentleman, bro. So I've sat through a date looking at somebody. I'm sitting there looking at. I'm like, I know that ain't this month. These pictures are from 2007, and here we sitting here in 2018. Ain't no way this is you. Ain't no way. And you know what I want to do?
That's different though.
Nah, hell no.
It is. In this girl's case, her pictures were like within days.
I understand, but I'm telling you, even with sometimes an angle or a filter or a little, you know what I'm saying? You. And so I've got to dates before, even when it wasn't late, I've got to dates before, and I've been like, I wanted to leave. And I think maybe, I don't know if I ever would have done something like this, but I almost think that if I would have had the opportunity to just say, but I'm not built, I wasn't built to move like that, but bro, I wanted to so many times because the mug didn't look like what I thought she was going to look like. And when I showed up, I was disappointed. I was let down.
Man, just because she doesn't look, she or him, and I'm speaking for both genders, just because that person doesn't look like what they present themselves to be, doesn't mean that was this diabolical plan to deceive you. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you just go through with it. No, what I'm saying is and I'm gonna just say in this person's case, the woman in the video, that was messed up on his part, because you never know, that person could turn out to be a friend. Just because you're meeting somebody on a date doesn't mean that it has to continue romantically.
What else I want?
He want the draws.
I ain't here to make friends. Like, look, man, look. If I met you on a dating app, if I slid in your DM, if I did any of the above, I was not doing that to make no God. I don't even listen. I'm gonna say something that's real. Women
I'm not
and
saying.
friends. I ain't trying to be your friends. I got so look. This dude right here. This dude been my friend for a long time. He been my friend for a long time. There's a few of them. It's only like him and a few other people. I don't need the amount of dedication that I got to them dudes, these type of dudes, to no random woman that I ain't knocking off. Let me just be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a bunch of them. I don't need. Listen, I don't need a bunch of. I don't need a bunch of friends. I don't want somebody to be like if this dude hit me up and say, "Hey, bro, I need to talk," and it's 4:00 in the morning, man, I got to go ahead and get on up and have that conversation. I don't want no woman being able to pull them strings on me. If you can pull them kind of strings on me, we more than friends. I'm just saying. So I ain't with no being no friends.
It don't gotta be that deep. And what I'm saying is, you never know what type of relationship. You never know what type of relationship or potential relationship you can be walking away from. So it could be business, it can be platonic, it can be romantic. You may not dig her from first appearance, but when you start talking to somebody, it's like, damn, this is a really cool person. At the very least, you're a cool person.
But what I'm gonna do with a cool person?
It's real superficial that you're just basing it solely off the look of when they come in the door, and
okay,
then you're done.
So what do I do with the cool person then? What do I do?
You can do lots of things with a cool person.
Tell me what do we
can
get
have
to do?
podcasts with them like this.
That's true. Okay. So if I'm mixing networking, I don't even know how to listen. I don't even know how to initially have had. So okay, let me be straight up. If I can swipe right, it's known from my swipe that I was interested in something on the romantic dating side. But then if I meet him and then I kind of fall back from that, she gonna know why. At first he wanted to see about something, but why he falling back from that? Women will ask you, you know what I'm saying? So if she pressed me, what I'm supposed to do? Lie? Nah, baby girl, I just
tell the truth.
Yeah, it's okay.
I did my whole stint on online booty call, and every dude I met off of online booty call, I never did nothing with none of them. But a lot of them are still my friends.
Online booty.
Yes, I met my husband on online booty call.
What the hell is that? Oh my God, Sheffy, you be rude. Sheffy, you be listen, man. Every I wish what's his name? I wish Remy was on here right now so he can give you a look. I wish he was on here right now because you just never let us down, boy. I swear every time.
You gotta think that was the early 2000s. That was when social media was first popping off. So it was kind of interesting what was out there. You had Black Planet, College Club,
okay,
online booty call. Then you had another one that was it was a rating system.
Rashad Miller was 9 years old. He don't know what you're talking about. He was 9 years old.
Yeah, I think I was. I probably read somewhere around now.
You get rated. So it wasn't a whole lot of options back then, and the few options you did have, they were kind of impersonal. But it was never like, the site was online booty call, but most of the people on there were actually a lot of them.
That's funny. I ain't gonna lie. That's funny as hell. That
website is still around. They got an app. It's still around.
Oh, yeah, how long?
Hey, we
gotta take it back to the essence, man. Hey, but going back to what Frank was saying though, like I remember I went to ATL not that long ago, and it was actually on an interview where she had a talk show, and when I got there, I'm like, damn, hold on, I kind of like her just off rip. But then when we got to talking on the phone, well, texting, and then she was like, I don't like talking on the phone. I ain't be like, all right, well, I don't want to talk to you no more. I just kind of fell back and just let their relationship be what it was already. Like, all right, we just going to be cool, network, or it ain't going to be no romantic stuff. You know what I'm saying? But initially, I saw it like, oh, snap, I gal her. Like, I make her my gal. But when you got to talking to her, you like, nah, I'm going to just, let her be the interviewer. So, but to the point is you can have a different relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta end in all right, we didn't having sex at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It can just be like we cool. Like we cool. Now, sure, if I go to ATL and want to do an interview on our platform, we still cool. So I can be like, hey, let me come on your platform and talk about X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So it just that, so yeah.
There
you
you
know
go.
what? You know what? So okay. See, now I'm the bad guy today. I don't give a damn.
You are.
Hey, listen, I don't give a damn. I don't care. Listen. When I was a bachelor, I didn't care nothing about making no friends. I ain't care nothing about none of that.
You was
swipe
right in them streets.
You were just trying to GT.
Yeah,
you got that cotton in the streets.
But you know what? But you know what? Unless that's what it was from jump. So I'll say this: if I did meet somebody, then it was I had other interest off rip. If I'm sorry, no, there was no app I was gonna swipe on. Low. I'm just saying, social media is different because when you meet somebody through social media, you've got to know them for some years. You got to know their personality for a while. This, that, and the third. Y'all already got common interests and y'all can rock a certain way. So let me just be fair. Specifically as it pertains to those dating apps, if I was swiping right on you or left, whichever direction meant that I was interested, I was not trying to be friends or nothing whatsoever other than I was out. Listen, smacking bellies was somewhere in the realm of what I wanted to get down with. And I was interested in seeing if there was relationship potential. You know what I'm saying? So it starts off like this. Swipe left, right, whatever. You get the match. And at the bare minimum, I'm hoping, okay, she looked good enough to where I at least, want to bust down. If she checks some more boxes, she's elevated to, okay, this is somebody I actually want to see. And if she ain't even really something I want to bust down, and it kind of depends on a whole bunch of other things. Like, okay, man, look, man, this ain't even normally what I go with, but how much I got to drink? You know what I'm saying? Can I make this work for the night? Because I done drove 45 minutes to meet this broad, and she can't come on back with me. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
So
listen.
All right, so I got a question, right? So have you ever talked to somebody or did something with somebody who you initially was like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with her at all, and then later on down the line y'all end up messing with each other in whatever way, whether y'all had sex or went on dates or whatever? Like you ain't never did that before?
God damn. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I gotta rack my
I'm sure you did.
I'm pretty
you had to, because you and me rolled kind of similar, and I know I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's been a moment here there where upon initial review I was like, nah, and then later on down the line I'm like, you know what? But I wouldn't. I'm very careful about that stuff, man. I've had some bad experiences where you mix pleasure with the wrong person, and then you try to maintain that relationship or friendship, and it goes left on you. So I usually always try to keep that totally separate, because when they mix, man, it just don't end well.
So has anybody done you like that to where it's like the opposite? They be like, nah, I don't want to mess with him. And then later on, they be like, I think
absolutely.
I would.
And the results. Now look, and look, it's not even all physical. In some cases, it might be circumstantial. Matter of fact, I know. Look, there's a woman on Facebook right now. I slid in her inbox several times. She shot me down, and she kept shooting me down. She shot me down like 3 times or something. 3 times she shot me dead down. Turned out to find, I was like, listen, I said, yo, man, what the, hey, man, I'm like, that's me. Like, how, what happened? She said, one, she said, your Facebook persona, she like, you used to say some reckless, crazy stuff, this, that, and the third. And she said, I didn't know what was real from fake. So I wasn't going to run the risk. And she said, and you had too many kids. I said, too many? I said, I was married. I had two girls and a son. And she was like, yeah, still too many. And she was like, because based on what you talk about and how you talk, And then based on the number of children and the physical package, she's like, yeah, you just wasn't no good. And I was like, yeah, huh? You said what?
What's wrong though?
Listen, man. Listen. I'm
That's how I felt about you too. I was like, he cute, but he ain't worth shit.
Listen.
Like, he want to talk to, but
Listen. So in fairness, I would say that those women that avoided me here and there, they probably saved themselves some bullshit. Because there's a couple that got caught up in that net at the time, and then they were like, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? So it's I've had people avoid me, and then later on they're like, all right, I'm gonna give them a spin, and then maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't. But some of them look back like, I wish I didn't. But never, like it depends, especially if they met me from social. If they met me through Facebook, they definitely came to me like really like, I don't know if I should engage, you know. But if you meet me in person and everything else, it's a little bit different because there's nothing preceding me.
The one time I had something similar happen, it was on Black Planet. This girl hit me up. And was like, my boyfriend like you. So they had a plan between them. They was gonna have their night with other people that they liked. So I show up, whoop de whoop, we do what we do. And I'm ready to leave. I'm like, oh, that was nice. That was good. Thanks. Appreciate you. Handshake. This man, I'm about to leave my girl for you. Because that was just this and that was just this. And I'm like, whoa. I was just here for the night, sir. What you talking about? But you so cool and you so nice and you so sweet. And I just enjoyed everything. And I know this is supposed to be a one-time thing, but I would really like to just make you my girl. Sir, bye. I got to go. I've had it happen twice, but not the girlfriend hit me up thing. But dudes like we this is a one-time thing, and they're like, no, I want to make you my girl. No.
But so wait. But what were the reasons why you shot them down? Was it circumstantial, or I mean, it don't matter. But
I'm one of probably few women that can divide the physical and the emotional. So if I came in the door like this is a physical thing, thanks.
And there's no a dude.
I don't spin the block, baby. No, not if it was just physical.
I have a homegirl that's like that. She is very. This is what she's, and if she watched this, she does. And she said this. She said when she was dating, she would give dudes an option sometimes early. Hey, if you just want it to be physical, we can get down. But after this night, don't call me no more. I won't call you no more. And she said what would happen was, and what would happen was, dudes would try to spin the block because, oh man, you know what I'm saying? I think you're so dope. And she's like, no.
You so nice.
You made that decision. Stick with it.
I do not spin the block. Sir, I might not even give you my real name.
I must admit.
What'd you say?
I said, I must admit, it's just quite disheartening.
I mean, I was in my 20s at the time. So, and I had just gotten out of an abusive relationship. I wasn't trying to attach, but I still had my needs. So if it was purely physical and that's all I wanted, that's all you were getting. I don't care how dope you think I am. Well, you like sports and you play video games and you do okay. You a soft inquiry on my whole fact, sir. I'm out.
I did have a situation. There was a sister whose inbox I went into, and she never read it or whatever the case. Like it had been some time went by, and then when I reached back out to her, I was trying to make a connection. I was like, hey, I need some information about XYZ because from her Facebook page, I knew she had a connection. And then she said, then we started talking, and she looked back and she realized I shot my shot. And then she said, man, I ain't even see that or whatever. So we talked about it. She's like, you know what? She said, it's good that I didn't see that then. And she said, because of where I was in my life, it wouldn't have been good. Like one of us, like it just wouldn't have been good. Cause she's like, I was in a bad space. So it just would have been a bad result. You know, whether you like me or I liked you or whatever, she's like, it would have just been a bad result. You know, so sometimes I think circumstances are very important when you meet somebody, but I'm just talking about based on like the whole physical part. And I guess maybe I'm more sensitive to it because I have actually been online, swiped right, met somebody, and they didn't look right. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can put on the front, man. I'm personable. I can give it 2 hours, pay for that meal, have me a few drinks, and go on back home. Yeah. Because look, let me tell you what I do. I'm gonna sell them a dream because they sold me a dream. So I'm gonna sell them a dream. The whole time I'm sitting there having a good time, I'm flirting. Yeah, girl, I can't. Next time, yeah, we gotta do this again. I'm leaving there texting. Yeah, we gotta do this again. And then I ghost. I go ghost. I go completely ghost. And then they're gonna be hitting me up for the next 3-4 days, and I'm slowly going ghost and going dark. I get to the whole point where I'm only sending one word text, and then I just disappear and just fall off. You know why? Because she don't deserve truth. She didn't deserve truth because she didn't give me truth when I got them pictures that she didn't look like what she was supposed to look like. She don't deserve honesty. Nope.
Hey man,
nope.
Touche.
I've only had that happen to me once, and it did not turn out well.
He lied about his height?
No, he lied about completely who he was altogether, like totally different pictures, all of that. And he ended up assaulting me in a hotel room in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, I don't like the state of New Jersey to this day because I got raped there. So, I still went online because it was like most of the guys I had met weren't that predatory. So for the most part, my experience has been on it. But everybody, well, that's why you shouldn't date online. I'm like, you could be in a bar and a dude to do the same thing to you, just slip something.
Yeah.
So it's just part of being a woman. Sometimes you just get in situations, not saying that justifies it, but sometimes you just find yourself in situations. But dating online versus in person makes it no different.
Yeah,
there's dudes out there, period. But that was the only time I've ever had that happen. So what I did after that, I need baby pictures. What you look like as a kid, teenager, something. Because most of the time when people are catfishing, they can't go back that far. They can go back, 5-10 years maybe, but they can't show you pictures of their grandmama and them as a baby and that kind of stuff. So that was like a safeguard there. And but even with the people who are catfishing now with the filters, man, I've never used a filter a day in my life. I don't even know how to. But I get why women use them because sometimes it doesn't make you look cute, but at the same time, it's like in person, you don't have glitter around your head, so I don't get it. I don't understand.
Right.
So when I do meet guys offline, they're like, "Oh, you look just like you do online." Yeah,
and we appreciate that. What a lot. I know the pressure that social media. Look. I'm not gonna front. I know the pressure that social media puts on women as far as physical appearance. I 100% get it, bro. It's a pressure cooker out there when you see what most guys or what's getting all the likes and all the hearts. However, when those dudes swipe right because of what they see and it's authentic, when you show up looking like what you looked like, the appreciation actually goes up because we already coming in like, man, you don't know, man. She
in person. Oh, well, thanks.
You like, oh shoot, I'm right. Like, I mean, smiling ear to ear. I had that situation where I'm like, man, she bad. All right, cool. I'm gonna rock with it. And I get there, and my natural self kicks in 10 times. I'm like, I'm the suave. I'm like, oh shit. I'm smiling. I'm up here. I'm talking, rapping. All my best is coming out because you look how you were supposed to look. You look how you were supposed to look, and I appreciate that.
What about these 6'2" dudes that be my height and I'm 5'7"?
Hey man, listen.
It's a whole lot of them.
But it said that men, I forgot what it was.
6 feet on a good day.
You know what I'm saying? But even if you 5'11",
I mean, what is it?
Rashad, do you do most? You're a bachelor, right?
Yeah, I ain't got no gals or nothing like that. No kids, none
Hey,
of that.
he ain't got. He said gal too. Yeah, one that country boy, that Texas boy, gal. So do you do most of your dating? Do you use the apps online?
I don't use dating apps, but I be like on some Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But not no official like dating apps or nothing like that.
Okay. So you slide in the DM.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. You know, back then, man, you used to can do that, man, and they'll respond. But now everything's so oversaturated. Like you got all these dudes, weird dudes, just sliding in DMs now. So it's really, you see a fine chick, I really rather see you in person because it's gonna be more receptive, rather than you jumping in the inbox. Now you just another nigga that jumped in the inbox, unless y'all already sharing dialogue on the post back and forth and whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all got a connection already, kinda. Now you can kind of slide in the DM, but just sliding in the DM,
you know what?
No
You seen Man at Arms over here sitting there nodding his head because he love that cold approach, bro.
I know he got the pipeline that's out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell his wife. He did that on purpose.
It's the only way I can sit sideways comfortable because I got the camera. I got the
no matter what I do, my arm.
Why yours ain't big as his?
My arm don't get that big no matter what I do. God damn, boy. Damn, boy.
I'm gonna just leave my arm off the camera
there. Hey, that's them arms that put Jody to sleep. Jody. Go ahead, scream for your mama.
That's the only way I can sit sideways in the chair comfortably.
You ain't gotta explain yourself. He don't pay your bills.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Hey man, if I was that swole too, I'd be doing the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. Before I started working out, like way back, I just be like, man, I just see dudes like my partners all in the mirror. Like, why y'all always in the damn mirror, man?
That's why. Gun show.
You gotta make sure you're making progress.
But yeah, that's definitely one of them things, man, where that cold approach, and that's what this guy talked about when he was doing some he said he does a lot of coaching to guys that get on the online apps that complain a lot. And what he said was these results that dudes are getting online from swiping right and social media inbox, he said it would be better if more of those guys went outside and started just approaching women straight up. He said because these online profiles, they lock in on your physical appeal versus when you meet somebody in person, your physical appeal and your energy is in one. So your energy might outrule your physical appeal because a lot of guys that look good don't have no kind of cold approach game. They end up sitting at the back seat because you just don't know how to talk to women. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to talk to people at all.
But
so
you still even got to figure that out in person because like some of the stuff that gets said to me out in the field, I just be like, who raised you? Like who? And then you see me with my husband. He go around the corner. Hey man, he treating you right.
Yeah.
No,
I ain't gonna lie, dudes are way too bold these days. I am not playing that game.
Look, especially when I was pregnant with my son, I would get all kind of, can I get next? And when you drop that, can you have one for me? What? This ain't a pickup game, sir. Like, this is my body. Like, what are you doing? Dudes will say some of the greasiest. I hope he treats you right. If he don't treat you right, I'm a truck driver. I got disability. Like running down this whole bank account and everything in Publix. Why? Why are we doing this? Versus,
he gonna have disability. Your husband come around that corner.
I'm divorced now, so he'd be all right. But it's
your camera upside down, Rashad.
The subtlety, I think, is what's missing for even the cold approach. Because guys will say literally what they're thinking. And it's like, no, baby, I need you to apply a filter to that and like calm down. Because what you feeling in your head ain't what should be coming out of your head. You know,
Right.
hey, how you doing? I just saw you. You look really nice. And I just want to know, are you single? So I can maybe get to know you, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. It's subtle. But when you go to, hey, shawty, woo, you look good.
Now, them the niggas that know where they already have in their mind that it's not going to go any further than catcalling. So they muster up the confidence to do the cat call, but that's as far as the confidence go.
Turn your camera one more time, Rashad. You still you to the side now.
So it's like
go back the other way. Go back the other way, then go back the other way. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Go ahead, Frank. You good? You good now, Rashad?
That disgusting cat call is like a shield, because they know that if they come like a gentleman and get shot down, that's gonna hurt more, because they know that if they cat call and they're disgusting with it, it's either gonna work, or if it don't work, they expect it. They expect to get shot down because it was disgusting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like these niggas are retarded.
Like that.
Niggas are retarded, man.
It's awful, and it's not even an age thing. It be the old dudes like 50s out here. Ooh, Lord, baby, you look like a fresh bottle of MD 2020. What does a fresh bottle of MD 2020 look like, sir?
I think an old drunk.
And then nobody even drink that.
They still do.
Them drunks do.
Them old dudes, yes, they do.
I
take you out for some shrimp and wine.
The thing that a lot of niggas don't know is that social media can be a gift, because it actually aid you in pursuing a woman.
Oh my God, it's even easier because of social media.
You can do recon before you even make your first introduction. Go down her page, look at a couple of posts, get a general idea of her likes and her dislikes, her interests, and what she's not interested in.
A little bit of research.
And you can form your introduction around something that she's interested in. If she like to crochet, nigga, Google what crocheting is, and strike up a conversation about knitting, nigga. Like, just simple stuff.
And then you can even tell. Here's what's cold. You can be like, girl, I don't know nothing about crocheting. I just Googled that shit so I can come in your inbox and just talk about it so we can get on to the next thing. I don't know nothing about that. I don't even like it. Then she giggling. Oh my God, tell me you didn't. Girl, hell yeah, I did. I don't know nothing about nothing. You in there at that point. You in there like swimwear at that point.
Yep.
It's so, man.
Where's my pen?
When and I talk about this a lot, but the thing, I met my wife on Facebook, and I went down. We had a mutual friend that he knew her, and but knew me first. We've been friends for years, so he suggested that because we got similar humor, sense of humor. So he suggested that so he kind of like just nudged a little bit. She ain't know nothing about me, ain't know nothing about her. Didn't know she existed. So I went down her news feed, her page, and I like she is pretty funny. And so I knew from then that, okay, I can add something to this conversation that she started. While niggas are on there, oh man, you fine, and blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna stay on topic of the post. That's all I did. And I asked her a question that she didn't, she was talking about she made a funny post about a church or whatever. So I asked her about the church that she went to or whatever. So she was like, she inboxed me and said, "It's some people that go to the church that I'm going to that I'm talking about, and I don't want to talk about it on the post." So we just started talking in the inbox that way. But if I would have just jumped straight into her inbox, I would have been another nigga in her inbox. And that's what these niggas don't realize, is that you another nigga. She's already guarded because she's sick of answering these weirdos in her inbox. So when you pop up, you're already labeled as a weirdo because you've been dealing with these niggas all day. So now you're gonna get, huh?
Especially when you just add them as a friend and they pop in your inbox.
Yeah.
Sir, you ain't been here 30 seconds.
And women love it, fellas. They listen,
No.
hey, bro. Listen, I don't care what these women talking about. You, the moment she adds you, see, it's a strategy. First, I need you to go start liking as many pictures and old posts as possible. See, real talk. Because look, just sliding in the DM ain't enough. But if you go like all of her, like at least 30% of her pictures, and then you start liking, you don't like them, you heart the pictures, and then you start liking old posts, right? You're gonna be so deep in her notifications that she's not gonna be able to say, she can't ignore that. It's easy for a woman to ignore good morning beautiful. It's hard for her to ignore 69 notifications and they all got your name on it.
I'm just you get blocked.
That ain't how you get blocked.
That's how I block. You like 3 pictures from, like, I ain't on my old account because this account ain't but like a year old.
I'll spam the shit out there. I'll go to your profile.
2007 blocked.
I'll go to your profile right now and I'll just blow it up. I'll blow that shit up. You know, but I'm just saying, man, don't just be sliding the damn DM all willy-nilly, man, out of nowhere, man. Go like some photos first. Go like a bunch of stuff. Go comment on something old. Bring an old conversation back up. There you go. It works.
Subtlety is always best.
I'm lying, y'all.
A lot of I ain't gonna lie. A lot of that depends on if she like how you look at night too, though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That plays a factor.
Absolutely, bro. Let me tell you, women, they will click. So women are better at men. Men aren't this good. Women do better recon on a man's profile for what he looks like, because I've seen women in real time do it because I thought it was a joke. And the woman showed me, dude slid in her DM. The profile picture, she said, I can't see much from that, so I got to go do a little digging. She hit the profile, and I didn't know that was even a thing. So she hit the profile, went to the picture, started hitting pictures, and just started scrolling. Hit a picture, blow it up, look, scroll. And she just kept doing that. And I'm like that, and it took her like 5 minutes to come back as to whether or not she was interested. And I was like, yo, do y'all do this every time? She's like, yeah, most of us do. If we don't already know you, that's what we do. I'm like, that's cold. Bro, that's cold.
With pictures with all of that. Like, and if you a content creator, I'm gonna watch a couple of your videos. I need to see what you're actually about. Yes. Before I ever even talk to you, I'm gonna recon.
So that's why a lot of dudes is left on red. Y'all done y'all research that quick, and y'all just decided not to respond.
Yes.
Herein lies why y'all.
Or it depends on what you said. So if you come in my box and you say what's good, WZGUD, boy, I'm ultra grown. We use complete sentences around here. I can't, especially you my age talking like, oh no, That means you might not even have your high school diploma, sir. I can't. I won't. He
trying to be hip. He trying to be hip hop.
No,
it's
sir.
Culture.
No, sir.
It's hip hop.
If you use complete sentences when you talk to me in a DM, I'm leaning in a little bit. Like, okay.
He can spell. He can spell.
He can spell. He using big words. Okay. You got my attention. And then,
okay, let me go get TI dictionary real quick.
I know Grand Rising Queen. See, all y'all fellas gotta do with Sheffy. Grand Rising.
They used to work. They used to work. I'm telling you, man. Bro, they used to work until everybody started doing it.
You did.
Everybody,
but now it's
using it,
a
Rashad?
sign of hotepism, and
Nah,
hoteps are the
used
worst.
to like way back in the day, like when nobody was doing it like that, and everybody started grand rising. Y'all ain't even conscious for real. Like everybody said rising and all this. They caught on to the trick, man.
Nope.
So Rashad got, you see, you got all them draws with the Grand Rising Queen, and then other dudes start jumping on it, and now you can't use your old game no more. That's what you get. That's what you get.
You can't
Man,
even use the good morning queen
females don't even want you to say good morning to them no more, man.
If we now that's the difference. If you come in my box saying that, I don't know. If we have an exchange text and we're in that mode,
Dale, hold on. Dale said y'all just gonna skip.
Ain't nobody studying Dale.
I ain't skipped that. I heard it the first time, bro.
I'm gonna leave it up there since she didn't want to show no shoulders this time.
Oh
Lord, she being provocative.
I'm already walking around here with child. I think we've already answered that question.
You think dudes gonna give a damn about that? They still trying to.
Oh, they don't care.
They still trying to come in the box. They there. Yeah. They say the damage already done. What harm? Yeah.
Again, gross. But no, it's more along the lines of like just dudes aren't original. Like one guy, he came into my box recently and he was like, "Oh, I see you're an engineer." And he starts talking like nerd, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're doing, baby. I see." You done, yeah. He's like, yeah, we should talk on the phone about artificial intelligence. You know, I'm a this, that, and the other, and I'm trying to learn more. I like that.
You know what? You know what, man? When it comes to the interests that individuals have that are outside of the box, it is extremely rare that you find somebody that you find physically attractive that also has your quirky interest. It is extremely rare, man. And in all my years of dating and relationships, man, I can count on one hand, you know, how many, like when I was into spoken word and doing that, how many writers did I encounter? A bunch. How many writers with talent did I encounter that looked like I wanted them to look? It wasn't as many. And so when you take that into engineering, you know, software design, what you do, or my interest as far as physics and science and what I'm into, that group gets narrowed way down. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because so many people have the same interest, but they don't broadcast them because they don't feel like it's gonna make a difference. They don't put anything out there because they're like, ain't nobody interested in that. People need to more often start putting their interest out there like that, so that when they, you know, the opportunity will present itself for somebody to say, hey, I rock with that. Let's see what's good.
Child, let me find a cosplay bae. I might marry him.
I got there's a sister on my listen, the sister that shot me down that told me my yeah, there you go. You know her. Yes, man. Kim shot me down for years, bro. It was
she did the right thing. She did the right thing. You ain't deserve Kim.
It was years in between them DMs. It was years in between them DMs. I circled the block full time. I was like, and the answer
she
still no.
Absolutely did the right thing.
Listen, I said the answer still no. I'll be back. Pulled off. Still no chance. She was like, nope. I pulled it back out. You know,
it's a head turn.
Yeah, man. You got to swing back around. You got to swing back around.
No, she is with who matches her very well.
No, but she's right. and again, after talking to her, getting to know her, you know, we're just cool. I understood it, I got it. But even she, man, I wish I can get on here so she could talk about her dating journey. Because as you can imagine, for her, it's not easy. It's not easy to find somebody in her world that is also physically attractive, like that also met she was like, man, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for that sister. You just would never imagine that it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying?
It is for sure.
But yeah, so the other one, Rashad, you got kids? You ain't got no kids yet, man?
I ain't got no kids, man. I had a female lie on me one time, man, but I ain't got no kids, dog.
She lied on you. Wait. So
man, it was this. Nah, man, it was this female that I was like really just. We was never like together. You feel me? But we was like, you know what I'm saying, having sex for years and stuff. So eventually we stopped using protection. You know what I'm saying? And then I had got to a point where I was like, all right, this get kind of old. I want to like a real relationship, so I got to stop messing with her because I know I don't want one with her. But then I think about 3-4 months later, she texted me a pregnancy test, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I said, oh, congrats, like, you know what I'm saying? But she was like, nah, it's yours or whatever. Now, I already knew what I was doing, so I didn't necessarily just deny it, but it just as time went on, I just seen little signs, and I was like, nah, because for one, it wasn't like for years, it wasn't like every day. It was like months on, months off. So I'm like, it ain't no way she just waiting on me to come back around to have sex. You feel me?
Right.
So I know that's the first sign. I was like, nah, I got it. It's probably not mine, or it's a possibility it couldn't be mine. And then it was just like really when the baby got here is when I realized, nah, it ain't mine. Cause she ain't want me to hold the baby. She ain't want me to do nothing with the baby. I couldn't take. She kept bringing up my girl. Like, oh, I don't want the baby or whatever around your gal and all this stuff. I'm like, and then every time we'll like set up the appointment for the DNA test, you know what I'm saying? She'll be like, oh, I'm busy that day, I can't do it. Then the next appointment get here, oh, I can't do it this day because of this reason or whatever. So I was like, all right. But by that time, she didn't already cause so much damage within my actual relationship. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like messed up a lot. But yeah, we did the DNA and the baby wasn't mine. But the messed up part about it, she gave the baby my name.
What?
Yeah. So she tried to be slick, right? Because I was like, well, if it's going to be my first son, should I want a junior then? You know what I'm saying? She was like, nah, I don't like that name. I don't like the name. Because my first name, Donovan. So she was like, I don't like Donovan or whatever. So what she tried to do is name the baby my middle name, Rashad, as his first name. So she named him Rashad Davion Miller. You feel me? And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, I'm trying to figure out. So like I say, so around 2017, we went to go. I couldn't get her to go to the doctor to do the DNA. So I said, forget it. I'm finna get a home DNA, get the swab in the baby mom. Keep your mind straight. You know what I'm saying? Keep your mind straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So the test came, but they sent it to a real lab. You feel me? So the test came back negative or whatever. It wasn't my baby, 0%. But throughout the years, she would be like, nah, that was a home test, so it wasn't right. Woo-woo. Now, so keep in mind, around this time, I'm not even knowing that she gave the baby my last name and all that. I'm just thinking it's the Rashard part. You feel me? So I like, I ain't tripping. Like, we can go do it again if you know what I'm saying. But you paying for it though. You feel me? Like for real. Cause hey, I live with these results. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so boom, man, we go to the DNA place out here, and man, I looked at the paper, and I'm like, now, I go by Rashard Miller. So when I first seen it, I initially thinking it's me. But then when I scroll over to Donovan Miller, I went back like, wait a minute. I thought you said the baby had your last name. How you just give him my last name? Then and it still came back, not mine. So I'm like, now this baby's walking around with I wasn't crazy. She tried to be Dale asked me was child support was involved.
Yeah.
No sirree.
All right.
Okay,
good.
Look. When I went to the doctor, because at the end of the day, I didn't know if it was mine, but I was still gonna be there just in case. You feel me?
Right.
Like I ain't want to miss like no moments or whatever. So the next day in the hospital, she came and said, she said, yeah, the doctors need you to sign some papers. I said, nah, I thought we was gonna go get the DNA test before that. She said, yeah, that's what it's for. But in reality, that was the birth certificate she was trying to get me to sign. You feel me? Like I'm not green. I'm not retarded. Like stop playing me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that whole situation was crazy, and it was a big old lie. Now the baby still got my name, Rashad Miller, but he don't know why he got that name. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's just
Bro,
that's still crazy.
I've never
And I walk around with these results in my pictures. I never delete them. It's been there for years. I don't delete them at all. Like, nah, if you ain't finna come back later, let's just say I take off in music.
right.
He can be like, he don't take care of his kids and woo woo. I got these results right here. And the cold part about it, she didn't even tell her mom because her mom like really liked me. So she was letting her mom think that I just wasn't coming around. Like, you know what I'm saying, and all that. So that was a whole crazy situation. That was like one of the most stressful times ever. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, there's no way,
Yeah.
man. Well,
I
I
dodged the
wasn't even gonna
bullet,
get.
man. You
I
know,
wasn't even
some
gonna.
women, if they feel like you will be a great father or whatever, they'll try to pin it on you.
Right,
Like
right,
facts.
right. And I've never been in a situation like that. I've only
I
had.
can't hear.
Is that me? No, it's not mine. Can you hear me?
Bro, I can't hear nothing. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Uh-oh. I don't know what
I have no
what
idea
happened.
why it's like that. Yo.
Yeah, I'm still up. I can hear you. Yeah,
I
my
can't.
sound's still
I don't
good.
know why my phone just went. Bro, I can't hear nothing at all. Y'all can hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, and
I can't
Dale
hear
said he can
nothing.
still hear us. Yeah, I can't hear you though. I can't hear you though. I mean, I can hear you.
Damn, I
You can't hear
can't
me.
hear
It's
nothing.
crazy.
Why? What the hell happened?
Yeah, Sheffy, where's Sheffy and Frank at? They done ducked
Why
out.
the hell I can't hear?
No, I'm still here. I had to go and pick my daughter up from work.
Bro,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what the
No,
hell
so
happened.
I'm
so
pulling up to the house now.
one of the
Can I
things I
leave
was
and
gonna
come back?
tap into.
Like, it might be the problem. Can I leave and come back?
Yeah. Let me do that.
All right. I'm sure.
Yeah, I was gonna get into this this last conversation, this parental guidance. That's what I'm calling it, parental guidance. and I know you want to get in on that one. And I want Sheffy to get in on it.
I'm bad.
She back.
Talk
Can
to
you hear
my
us now,
baby.
Rashad?
I was on parental duty.
I
So
thought you might have had the boo-boo or something. Okay, I just gotta be careful,
wow.
you know.
Wow.
Listen, you never know. You never know. But what we so speaking of parental duty, we finna start talking about a little bit of parental guidance. Damn, I should have found the post that Sheffy shared. I think I can find it real quick. So we can
It's
kind of,
recent. I think I posted it like 2 days ago, so it's pretty
yeah.
recent.
I'm finna find it real quick. Yeah. Ain't gonna be nothing. We finna have this little conversation. It was relatively recent. All right, let me find it.
You know, I be posting a lot of junk, so you might have to go through a couple posts.
Let me find it. Golly. Oh man, this one of them times where I wasn't. There we go. Found it. Found the goddamn post. Chef, you starting shit on social media.
That's what I
Thanks
do.
you always.
Let me see.
I'm entertaining.
Let me find that thing. Hold on.
I think I remember the gist of it.
Oh yeah. You on
Yeah,
you
both
on
of
you
y'all
on
posted on it.
Found it. There we go. This here. Let me see if I can blow that up just a little bit more. It might not let me. So it said y'all be negotiating with y'all. Well, so Sheffy shared a post, and the woman said y'all be negotiating with y'all children too much. Because I said so is sometimes the best answer. We're tired of dealing with some of your progressively raised children out here. And Sheffy's caption was explaining reasoning ain't the same as negotiating. You're doing it all wrong. So give us a little context, Sheffy, before we take off. Frank, we ready to take off. We ready to take off.
So one thing I learned, especially, and I really learned this with my 8-year-old, who I was just talking to. That's literally why I went dark for a second. When he asked questions of, well, why are we doing such and such and such and such? And at first I'd be like, boy, because I said so. And this is when he was like smaller, like 2 or 3. He was like, why? And because, you know, growing up, grown folks will tell you that why child is just stepping out of a child's place, blah, 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 blah. But then one time I said, well, you know, son, we do it this way to keep you safe. And he's like, okay, I understand that. And then I never had to say that thing again. And I was like, okay, let's see how this works again. So another time I told him to do something. Well, why do we do things that way? Oh, well, because we do it this way so we don't ruin the car. I don't remember what it was. It was something about the car. Okay. And from then on, he never did that thing that would ruin the car again. So it was like, oh, well, shoot, as long as I kind of explain to him why something is happening and he gets it, I don't have to deal with this again. Versus when you do the because I said so, it's like, that's real lazy. And in a couple of the comments, they were like, well, that's really lazy parenting. But some people take it as, well, I ain't explaining nothing to a child. I'm like, do you know how much easier it is to talk to somebody when they understand where you're coming from? And people think about that in the adult framework, but don't think about that in the children framework. And it's like kids have reasoning and rationalization as well. So it's not that you have to sit there and negotiate with them. Johnny, please don't do this. Please don't. No, that's negotiation. That ain't what we're doing. We ain't doing that. But if a child is trying to figure out why you're telling them to do something and you're not taking a moment to just explain basic reasoning to them, these children grow up not knowing how to reason at all. And we can see that in this generation of kids, the older Gen Alphas, where it's like them children stuck on stupid. And it's not that they're actually unintelligent, it's that they just never learned how to reason. Even in a college setting, I have students where I'm like, I don't want to be rude, but are you on the spectrum? Like, I don't understand why I had to explain this like 20 times. And it's because a lot of parents have taken the "cause I said so" approach. So the children don't know how to process their own reasoning in certain situations. When even with my husband and I divorcing and a lot of the things happening, I had to break it down to him. I'm like, look, all you got to do is explain to him what's happening. Tell him why it's happening, and he will be just fine. Because he has his own therapist, and you know, she'll come back and tell us different things. Well, yeah, when you guys did this transformed his behavior. Even his teachers, his behavior transformed because he felt understood, he felt heard. And these are the things I think a lot of parents don't think about when they go into well, I'm the adult and what I say goes. Okay, you're the adult. That's great. What you say does go. Nobody's arguing that. But the child is just trying to understand why. And when you break it down to them, this is for your safety. This is for your growth. You know, we do this because this is how our family operates. Okay, it makes sense to them. And then you really never have to do it again. So I know when it comes to my child, especially my baby child, if I just sit him down and talk to him like a person, and of course I explain things in words that he can understand, I don't have to negotiate with him. I don't have to argue with him, fuss with him about nothing. Son, You know why you're supposed to get up and get your shower before bed. That's so you have more time in the morning and you're not rushing. You know you got to put on lotion. You light skin. You get ashy. You be walking around here looking like you done basted in flour. He understands to the point where he gets up in the morning, does all the things he's supposed to do. So he know he can have time to watch a YouTube video or two before he goes to school. And he knows I'm not going to fly with him out here looking ashy. Mama going to fuss at me if I come out the door looking a certain way. So I'm going to make sure my shirt is clean. I'll make sure my shoes and stuff are clean because I know if I want to go to the store with her, I got to be dressed and ready to go. These are just things I don't have to deal with anymore because we've already established here's the reason we do it. And they trust your reasoning. They trust you as their parent. A lot of parents are still doing this 70s, 80s because I said so. And it's like, this is why you in therapy from grandmama and them right now. Because nobody heard you.
Man. I think before you get to explaining, you have to automatically set a precedence of because I said so. So I'm not going to say that you never need to get to the point where you kind of break it down and give them explanation as to why. But I think before you do that, you got to already have dominance established. And people could disagree with me. I know there's going to be people that's going to disagree with me. But I believe, and I'm gonna tell you why I believe this. Because there's going to be times in life where nobody got time to explain a damn thing to you as an individual, as a child, as a person that has to develop some followership, as a person that needs to just sit down and take it in. Life is going to present you a moment where nobody got time to explain a damn thing to you. And you better be able to take what somebody said and quickly take heed and process and move. Because if I tell you a duck can pull a truck, don't ask me how, hook the motherfucker up. That's where I put it. And it goes further. If I tell you to duck, don't say where, what. No, duck. Goddamn. Now your head's sitting on the ground because. But I'm setting it up here. You gotta understand that sometimes just do. And then if you want an explanation, you better come back to me later on, and maybe we can have a conversation outside of the moment. Outside of the moment, I'm willing to give you an explanation. But if I say pick that up, you better not ask me why in that moment.
That's different. That's something different.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a boundary. It's a balance.
It's the opposite, though. And the reason I think it's the opposite is because when he was younger, and I would explain little things to him, that's kind of where he just started to trust my judgment. Period. To now that he's older, I don't get the why question near as much anymore. And when I do, it's for something that's not emergent. But in an emergent situation, I don't get the why question at all anymore.
See, I don't want to know. I damn near don't want it in no situation. But what I'm saying is, the first time I ever tell you to do something, I don't know when that starts, at what point in their life.
Like one.
I'm not explaining nothing them first couple of go rounds. We finna establish what we're gonna get established first is that what I say, you do. And then as we move along, I'm very willing to say, now look, I know I ain't explaining it to you. Now let me explain it. But we finna establish order first. We're not finna establish explanation first. At least me. Yeah.
I mean, but see, that's a very like military mindset though. And my ex-husband and I used to combat about that because he would come in raw all the time, and that didn't work for our youngest because he's the extrovert in the house. He's much more sensitive, and he's much more like curious. Versus the older kids, they were all introverted and they were all kind of lazy. So they didn't care about the why at all. because they didn't really want to do a lot anyway.
And styles make fights. Styles make fights. I get that, but I'm not talking about from a military perspective. I'm talking about from the time they are teeny little humans. When they come out the womb, Martin, I don't know if y'all remember that Martin stand-up when he said as soon as the baby get ready to come out the birth canal, and he said he'd get up in the birth canal and say, hey, don't come in here starting no shit. You establish confidence from the moment go with these little boogers.
But dominance is the same thing as respect.
I don't need your respect from day one. Dominant from day one, I will earn your respect as we go along.
Man.
That's a dad ass answer.
I'm establishing dominance first, and everything comes after the dominance. Everything comes after you know. Listen, I need you to be questioning whether me or God is the authority around here. That's how. It needs to be that high up on the rank. You need to be questioning whether do I listen to Jesus or do I listen to Dad? Like which one? I need it to be that dominant, and then I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna give you nuance and explain and talk your head off. We're gonna do that later. But day one, oh man,
I was that way with my stepkids day one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That sounds like some stepkid treatment.
Man,
Right.
ask my children.
To. My daughter ran that you ain't my mom on me one good time. She ain't never did it ever again. I guarantee you that.
Man, I've been that way with my but my children would tell anybody now that they get a lot of talking from me now. As they've gotten older, I talk a lot, or as they aged, I talked a lot more. But day one, there was no explanation for nothing. It was I'm me. It was I'm me. Go ahead, Frank. I know. Look at he itching.
He's leaning in now. He about to give me the vision.
He leaning in, boy. He almost came through the camera, boy. I thought he was sitting right here, boy. Yeah, boy. Get the arm. The arms got back in the picture, boy. He tight now, bro.
Crazy,
Man, the thing is, in all things, you gotta have balance.
Right.
And some things may sound like I'm parenting Manuel because we like-minded on a lot of issues, especially parenting. The thing is, man, that why it gotta come at a specific time for me to answer it. It's circumstantial. Because I said so. That's my finisher. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that means conversation is over.
Right.
Now I allow my children to ask why, but if I ask them to do something and they say why, depending on what it is, I give an explanation.
Right.
If they want to get into a debate about it, it's because I said so. Like, now it's time to shut up and do it.
Right.
I'm not going through the motions like we equals.
Right.
And I'm not going through the motion with you like we splitting bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this ain't your domain. This here belong to me. It belongs to your mama.
This is not a democracy when it comes to children. It is a dictatorship.
I told them that.
It is a dictatorship.
It was the same. It was more along the lines of when it's something that, like my son did ask me, well, why do I have to put on lotion? And it wasn't. He wasn't asking it in the like.
That's a real man.
First
of all, that's a real man right there.
Literally wanted to know why, because he was asking about deodorant, toothpaste, the whole nine. And
first of all, that's a real man. First of all, that's a real man right there. That's a real man. You listen. Let me tell you something.
Man, you know, so white.
Do you know how often the only part of my body that's lotion is from here to here and here? Everything else is white underneath. I don't give a damn. Ain't nothing else moisturized. I don't give a damn. Ass chapped, knees
but he's
chapped.
much lighter than you. Like, he's lighter than Frank. So he be literally walking around here like ash on ash. And I'm like, baby, you got to do something with them knees. You Got
hey man, listen. Nah, see, look, you know what? Let me get a hold of that little man. First of all, you gotta let that man. So, see, this is what you gotta understand about men, right? You gotta let them elbows, them knees, them ankles, them feet, them hands. You gotta let them harden over time. Because look, let me tell you what I explained to my wife one time. She was talking. Let me tell you, my wife was talking about my feet. She was talking about how ashy and how beat up and how rough they look. And I said, baby, look, I ain't got no soft feet, and I ain't trying to put my feet on you. But worst come to worst, if I need to hop about this bed and fight and run outside in the cold or it's hot or whatever, these feet gripping everything, bro. Listen, I'm gonna be out there. Listen, these feet. Listen. These feet. You might be able to compare them to our ancestors, boy. You know what I'm saying? You might have think I ran through a swamp or two. You know what I'm saying? Why? You know, so I'm just saying.
And they got slip resistant skin on his feet.
That's something on him in the Coast Guard, man.
Hey, listen. If you ask me to jump out here, let one of these little young bucks talk about they want to race. I'm taking off my shoes like we in the street. They gonna be like, they gonna get confused when they say me kick these things out, boy. I get to run.
Asphalt ready.
So I'm just saying as a little man, you know what I'm saying?
But also, we're also teaching him about good hygiene. Because if he wants to talk to little girls appreciate good hygiene.
You'll figure that out later. Let me tell you something about us boys.
Well, I don't set the rules for him in that regard. A lot of that comes from his father. Like, he has to make sure his shirt is a certain way. He has to put his belt on. You know, he's very, dressed. Like, when he steps out the door, he has to look presentable. And, he would ask questions about them. And he asked questions, why I got to go to school? During COVID, I didn't have to do that. So things like that, I'll explain to him. But if I say, come on, get in the car, we got to go somewhere. Where we going? Boy, get in the car. Ain't nobody about to do all of that.
Hold on. Somebody said I'm a whole inner and I'm very moisturized. Okay, it works. That works. But I'm saying you don't want to be too moist.
Sexier than a man with a good skincare regimen. I'm telling you. I pay that
moist.
Straight up.
You don't want to be too moist as a man. Moist and wet kind of goes. We supposed to be hard. See, ash goes with hard. Moist goes with.
Who want to cuddle your scaly tail though?
Listen, ain't nobody worry about that.
Don't because there's flakes in the bed. Like, no.
Hey man, I done tore up a number of sheets. I ain't concerned about all that. I sleep at the top anyway. I sleep at the top. I'm up here. Anyway, I'm joking, but one thing I know about boys, man. Boys are naturally just kind of nasty and ashy and lazy when it comes to bathing, and you know what I'm saying. They just. But I think it's part of being a man that sometimes you just want to smell yourself. You just kind of, you just want to smell yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of want to be one with the natural funk of the earth. You just kind of, no.
No, nigga.
Listen.
Frank's face like.
Listen, I told my wife, I said, hey, listen, babe, as I age, some of this cleanness, it's gonna get a little bit grungy, but you're gonna like it. I'm like, but you're gonna like it, don't worry about it. I told her I'm growing my chest hair. I'm growing that out. I'm like right in here. I need a nice like some taco
I'll
meat.
wax you in your sleep.
No, let me tell you why. I need a nice triangle of taco meat, because as I age, I'm wearing more and more shirts that ain't got no, like, I'm unbuttoning up shirts. Every collar's gonna be popped. I'm showing chest meat, right? And I don't want one of these old new age baby oil soft, pretty chest. I want the old school taco meat with the gold chains. Not because I need something from a gold chain to stick to. See, these dudes chains be moving. They chains be dangling and swinging because they no taco meat for them chains to stick to. So I'm going for the whole throwback look. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do a
It's not.
Harry.
So you want like a heroin addict?
A little, not heroin, not heroin, but I want to look like I might bump a line every now and again. That's the look I'm going for. I'm going for the Al Green. I'm going for the Al Green, the throwback Al Green, high waist pants, chest open, hair on my chest,
completely
gold
fine
chains.
with dudes that shave their chest.
Oh,
That's the stank.
Man, you got to get up off it. But I don't know how. This is way far removed from parental guidance. But
Real far.
But I do agree that some explaining is okay, but I personally believe in I'm going to establish dominance first, and as they age into, but I'm talking about day one of that. I'm talking about, man, I'm not joking when I say I'm establishing dominance at 2 years old. I mean, look, you literally
I established dominance way before then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't really. Yeah. Like we got to establish that dominance so early, so that when we do start explaining, they understand that our explanations, that's a courtesy, that's grace. That ain't what we do necessarily. You now appreciate daddy explaining, whereas before he just told your ass to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I believe in balance, right? I believe when you have a mom and the mother and father in the house, if one parent is more heavy on the dominant and not really explaining side, but the other parent is lighter on the dominance and explains more, they perfectly balance. They don't have to be both in one person. If mom does do a little bit more talking and explaining, but dad does a little bit more setting an actual tone of, no, this is just the way it is. Well, mom knows dad, so she explaining, well, the reason your father says and moves and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
that's that. Yeah, but it works because
it does, but it's draining on the person who has to do the extra explaining. Because it's like, why can't you just have the emotional intelligence to realize this is a moment?
Ain't nobody got time for that, man. Y'all can't make us. Y'all gotta understand me.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but I ain't about to keep sitting there and explaining for you either, because all that does is create a rift in the house where the kids only come to mom. Because mom is the only person that makes them feel heard. You know how draining that is?
Yeah, you
don't, because you the dad.
Because let me tell you something, man. I've seen what happens when women spend way too much time explaining.
Oh, agree. I ain't about to do all of that.
They're a little bit too friendly.
Please, can you do? No, I ain't about to do all that.
I've seen when the imbalance, like, I don't require. See, that's why I say two people, because by the time it doesn't matter. Let me tell you what you're trying to get these kids to. You're trying to get these kids to adulthood. You're trying to get them to that point in life where when they look back, it makes sense. I don't need a goddamn thing to make sense to you today. I don't need nothing to make sense to you today. I need you to execute. Because when your brain actually gets to the point, when that 24, 25-year-old brain clicks, it's going to be like, wow, I get it. Because you don't need
to wait till you're 25.
Because your brain ain't, because listen, we talked about this. Your brain at that adolescent age, their brains aren't even prepared to really weigh things out the way they need to. Anyway, I can use myself, and we can use humanity and history as an example. My dad gave me a lot of wisdom. He dropped a lot of jewels. And it wasn't until my mid-20s till I was like, man, he was right. Now, a lot of the stuff I did wasn't because he gave me an explanation. It wasn't because X, Y, Z. It's because I knew good and damn well if I tried that man a little too many times, he was going to cross my head with maybe a brick, whatever he had in his hands. And so sometimes you just got to listen. The answers will come later, free of explanation. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining. I'm going to establish dominance first. Explanations will get to that over time. But I think if you're so explanatory early on, you can set a precedence for too much talking early on. So I think men and women balance it out. Dad can be dominant.
As the woman in my house, I did both. I did all of it. I was the disciplinarian. I was the dominant one.
Well, see that, but see that's not fair. Well, see that's not fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
And that's why it was a lot, because it's like, you know, even with my stepdaughter, with my stepson, it wasn't so bad because I had been kind of in his life since he was 1. I didn't meet my stepdaughter till she was 4, and then we didn't even really have a relationship till she was 10. So coming in the house, you know, she did the whole "you ain't my mama" thing, and I go to my husband about it, and he's like, "Well, just let me handle it." And I was like, "No, I'm grown. This little girl ain't finna talk to me like this." Oh no! So I handled it myself because he was like, "Well, just let me handle it. You know, I'll just do." No, because if it's just me and her here, we're not gonna do this whole.
Absolutely. I'm
the adult here. You about to listen to me. And then over time, about a year later, I had to rough her up a little bit. She ran away from home. And then when she came back, I was like, so what did you get out of doing that? Like, you did all of this whole, well, my mama this and my mama that. And what'd you get? You right back here in our house. You still gonna have to listen to me. So why don't you just cut the bullshit? Like, period. And me and her are like really close to this day.
How old is she?
Because at some points I did have to sit her down and explain, like, look.
How old is she now?
She's 17. Okay. And you know, her and I are really close now. Like, she probably tells me more than she tells her mom.
She like, and I say, I'm when these young, and if this has helped me, because me and Frank was just talking about this the other day, man. Parents, you don't get no glory early. A lot of parents want the glory, they want the appreciation, they want this stuff while they're being parents. You will not get it until they are grown, until they jump out into the world, they've hit a wall or two, and then they can finally turn back and be like, man, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you put up with my nut. Like, that's when it happens. So that's why I'm like, if your situation, Sheffy, where you have to do both on both sides, that's a bit much. I think that
it was tough, man.
The husband, if the husband is in the house regular, and then you're a military wife, so that was different too. That's different.
Gotta be both.
I'm talking about right. I'm talking about in a situation where dad is in the house and mom is in the house. They're both there as often. The father can be that dominant, and it's just very simple and it's plain, and he got to establish that. And then the mom can explain, because she knows, because let me use military.
I get what you're saying.
Let me I can use my father, I can use it. Let me use military to break it down. You got a CO and an XO.
Mm-hmm.
The XO, people think the CO is the one that hits heavy. It's the XO that hits heavy.
Mm-hmm.
The XO is just boom, boom, boom. By the time it gets to the CO's kind of explaining it a little bit. Now, if they want to reverse those roles, they can, but the idea is one of them is just the hammer. The other one is the cloth, is kind of explaining, it's kind of smoothing it out a little bit. You got to have both of those people in that power structure basically giving it out evenly as they can. The husband and the wife, same thing. I don't care who the crazy, it's like the good guy, good cop, bad cop. I don't care who's the good cop and who the bad cop is. But if you think you're going to always get results by one person, I got to be the good cop and bad cop, hell no. But if you got two people that embody those characteristics and balance it out, you know what I'm saying? Like,
here's the reason why it doesn't work. It doesn't work for the very same reason.
I've seen it work. To say it doesn't work.
Well, I'm explaining
it doesn't work.
Well, I'm gonna say why it doesn't work with today's kids. I'll say that.
Man, it don't work with today's kids because these parents are pussies. That's where.
No, let me explain. What I have seen, and a lot of my friends complain about this, is when you have that mom who does all the explaining for dad, the kids are only afraid of dad. And then mom is the one, I'm gonna call your daddy. I'm gonna call your daddy. I ain't know I'm gonna call your daddy, mama. I'm about to take these earrings off and whoop your ass.
No. Okay, I'm not saying that the mom shouldn't be. I'm saying that somebody. I don't believe in this idea that both parents have to be equally balanced. No, I don't believe in the idea that because man and woman, we're not equally balanced down the middle with all these things. So as the man,
and I get that, but that's what I'm saying. It's like when you have one person who's always the hammer, all they see are nails, and that creates a distraction for the children because they literally stop engaging with that other person because they're like, they keep seeing nails.
And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he has to be that all the time. I'm saying you establish that from day one, and then you can kind of show them evolution. Children, bro, it's like they appreciate grace when you're showing them that you're being graceful.
I agree. I just don't agree with the whole gender split with that thing, man. Because I mean, it's stressful. It is so stressful to have to be the cool-headed one all the dang time when I want to whip them churn ass too. No, that's just what it boils down to. It's like sometimes, and it's not that, you know, I regretted, you know, him being the kind of disciplinary whatever so far, but it's like it got to a point, especially in the teenage years, when that is a prime time for explanation because they're trying to actually reason who they are as people, to the point where they just didn't even communicate with him anymore. Like, didn't come talk to him about nothing. Right. So when he would come fussing at me, well, you always busy, you always this, and I run down all the shit that I done had to do with the kids, and he's like, well, I ain't know none of that. And it's like, because you ain't paying attention, because you always the dominant, come in this, that, and the other, when I'm forced to do both. Because I have to establish the discipline, and I have to establish the emotional intelligence of them, and I have to do the explaining too. I don't think any parent should be solely one or the other. I think all parents should be balanced in both.
No, I will never agree. No. I won't agree that both should be balanced in both. Like, I'm not going to be 50-50 nurturing.
Well, no, I don't necessarily mean 50-50. But I mean, like, certain male perspectives for certain things should be explained. Because I can only explain from a female perspective. So if I'm the only one in the house explaining something, they're only getting the female perspective. And then that's a missed opportunity when it's like, okay, the guy can explain some things too. No, I'm not expecting it to be 50-50 because I'm not 50-50.
Yeah, and that's
but I need you to help. Help me.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. It has to evolve. But stop somebody in that damn house from day one better establish dominance, because human beings, if you allow them to just think it's free and willy-nilly, they gonna, especially babies. Me and my dad was talking about this one time. And we both, the most dangerous thing on the planet would be a 1-year-old that was as big as Shaq. That'd be the most dangerous thing on this planet. Because what would a 1-year-old that's as big as Shaq do? They would kill over a gummy bear if they could. There's no reasoning with that. Their little brains and bodies, they only know sleepy, hungry, and uncomfortable, and that's it. They can't formulate. And what are they going to do if they don't get what they want in a moment? They would destroy. They would destroy whatever they can destroy in that process. So when I'm going to establish so much dominance that you understand, okay, that's that right there.
But that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think it's something that should be solely on one parent. Like a lot of, I hear a lot of women say, well, my son gravitates to his father, and if I tell him to eat, he don't. That's because you ain't setting those depressants.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's why I don't agree with the whole gender thing. It's like, no, you gotta know, you gotta have some sort of dominance too as the woman in the house.
No. I think
nurturingly dominant.
Yeah, I think both parents have to have that, but
I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah, you both got to take a balanced approach.
Listen to me, and I have to call his dad. I ain't calling your daddy about nothing. I don't care if I ain't your mama. You in my house.
Yeah. Another dynamic is, and you talked a lot about your stepdaughter Sheffy, and now Manuel has a stepson, and I'm a veteran step parent. So
no
he got all his stripes, boy. If he had some medals, boy, he had some medals.
Oh, 4-star.
Yeah, 4-star. The thing is, all right, so I have two different dynamics. My late wife had a son, and I helped her raise him before I started helping her raise him before we got married. He was 3 going on 4 when we started dating. Me and my late wife started dating. So I had an opportunity to develop a presence.
Right.
And so I had an opportunity to grow with him as he was getting older. So he was more familiar with me, and I had a lot of time invested in developing a relationship with him. And he's 22 now, and he's my son. Even though his mom is gone, she's been gone for 10 years now. He's still my son, and he looks at me as his father. So even though he had, he's his biological dad took him on full time when he turned 13, but he's been with him ever since. But because I had the opportunity to create a bond with him at 22, he still reverenced me as his dad also. With my wife now, she came with 3 daughters, and 2 of them, when we started dating, were the ages of my 2 biological daughters from my late wife. So again, I was able to establish a presence with them, with her 2, because they were younger. But she had a 13-year-old also when we started dating. And the 13-year-old, her biological dad was never a part of her life. And when my wife and her ex-husband split, and because I met her while they were going through the divorce, he basically just like, I got my 2 with you, and that one I holler at her. He left it up to her. So to her, the nigga abandoned her. So now I'm coming in trying to, hey, I'm a good guy, but she wasn't buying that at all, because she was like, look, these other 2 niggas, dropped me. And so I'm not gonna allow another man to come in, pick me up, and just to drop me. So us developing a relationship, I couldn't be that dominant man in the house dealing with her because of where she was at mentally. She already had a guard though, so I had to focus more on trying to get her walls down so that we can begin building a relationship and a bond. The other 2, because they were younger, I was able to establish a presence and some dominance with them because they were more impressionable. They didn't have a lot of baggage they were dealing with. So it was easier to be the disciplinarian with them. But with the oldest one, I had to walk a very tight rope and thin ice, very thin, because any wrong move, I could have alienated her even more, and it would have hurt even more. It would hurt the chances of developing a relationship with her even more. Probably would have killed that chance. So I had to let my wife take charge in dealing with her. So it was only maybe not even a handful of times to where I had to step in, like, because my wife wasn't present or that I had to speak up for myself. But because the situation was so delicate,
Yeah,
I couldn't be that dominant father figure because she wasn't even willing to accept me as a father. So anything I would have said would have been taken. It would have went left real fast and real hard.
Right.
So now that she's 23, our relationship is like she's my daughter. You know what I mean? And I've been here for 10 years with her. And it took 7 years for us to have a lunch date with just me and her. And for us to enjoy the time spent with each other. And our second one was on her birthday in March, the end of March, on the 27th. Out of 10 years, we've had 2 lunch dates. But she comes and she vent to me about things. She confided in me about things. And I love the relationship that we have. But I know that if I would have came from a different angle, like you gonna do what I say, early on, we wouldn't have this relationship that we have now. So I think that that's one of the things that has to be taken into consideration when you're dealing with a child that's not biologically yours. That you can't, like, you want to treat them like they're yours, but you got to love them like they're yours. That's
Right.
first. They got to feel that you have their best intentions in mind. So you can't come out the gate like a Rottweiler, like you would do with your biological kids, because they have an ingrained love for you just because they have an understanding that this is my parent. I see your twisted little face.
for us, it was more like.
I got one question. When you tell me you can't come out the gate with something. See, when I consider whether I can come out the gate, I'm considering one thing. Can you whoop my ass?
Both my stepchildren tried me once and they never tried me ever.
Listen. But no, what y'all are saying, what he's saying is definitely real, because even me with I call my stepson Bruh Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, he is an old soul, he's real calm. He's a teenager, just like all teenagers are sneaky and they do what they do and they slick. I get it. But for the most part, his mom and those elders have done a really good job of establishing
respect.
A respect for his elders and older people. Like I mean, I can tell you now, if our dating process, that was a big part of me judging what we were gonna be, because I was sitting there like, okay, yeah, we're gonna be something, but how was that situation? And I never saw a moment where she didn't have it or couldn't get it under control. Like, never saw a moment. So I knew that as a possible step parent, that my job, or possible parent, because step, that word gets in my way sometimes. But as a parent figure, that it's easier when I only have to reinforce what's already been laid. I'm like, man, she got this booger in check already. I can kind of be the more nuanced approach. And if I ever need to come hard, heavy, and quick, again, what Frank says comes to mind, because I've already established a relationship. I've known him. He's realized recently how many years we've been in each other's lives. When I met his mom, we broke up, we got back together, broke up. But the years in which we've known each other, it's like, hey man, you've been around for a minute, up until me and his mom got married and everything like that. And so I've seen him grow up, and he's seen me see him grow up. And so he knows I've been there and been around. And so we there's a trust, there's a bond, and he knows when we step outside of the presence of mom, he can just say stuff and have conversation and ask questions. And I tell her about that stuff all the time. I'm like, man, he asked me this, he asked me that. And she like, and there's just certain things he's gonna say and do around a father figure that he's not gonna do around mom. But I have to be approachable for that. If I'm not approachable for that, who's he gonna ask? His homeboys. And what them dumb ass? What they dumb ass? What they dumb? And that goes to I don't know who made this comment, but he said this. He said, think about this. If they're asking you why and you don't answer, they're gonna ask someone else. Kids' mind just work like that these days, and don't forget they have the internet and know how to use it. And that's absolutely true. I think kids' minds have always worked like that. It's just now they have the internet,
yes,
which gives them more reach. Because my dad, go back to they always ask their peers, their cousins, and other people to get those answers from when mom and dad didn't feel like explaining it. Hopefully, you had a village to where the questions they were asking was coming from maybe another mature adult. See, people got to remember the cool auntie and the cool uncles used to be those people. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks the cool auntie. Everybody thinks the cool auntie is the auntie that just look good, she fresh, she fly, and the cool uncle is just the one that looked like he got more swag. No, the cool auntie and uncle might have had a little bit of that because they weren't parents and they were able to live that, but they also had them same gems and jewels and them same rules and upbringing as mom and dad, so they would say the same shit. It was coming from somebody else, so it clicked a little different, and that's just how young people are. And they got more, and them other people got more patience because they ain't been dealing with shit.
They had y'all. Like with my stepchildren, when my ex-husband and I first started living together, I was pregnant with my son at the time. My oldest son had just come to live with him maybe 6 months to a year, because he had been back and forth between his mom and dad. My daughter didn't even live with us then. So when she finally came to live with us, I got a toddler in the house, a 10-year-old we're still trying to kind of formulate what he's going to be, because he came in with some issues. I have her who's coming in with issues. And then we have a dog, like a puppy in the house. So I'm literally raising 3 people who don't even know how to operate within our family, while also trying to create a family, because we had just gotten married at the same time too. So there was no establishment of anything other than he's your biological father and I'm not your biological parent. So that was a lot to navigate, because they not only had to learn me, but I also had to learn how to be a whole parent.
Yeah.
At the same time. And then it's not that I had to learn how to parent children that I've known. I mean, Trevor, I knew him since he was a baby. And even when his father and I had broken up, he still kept in contact with me. Right. But he still hadn't been under my influence. So, and then he hadn't been under his father's influence either. So we literally had to like break them down and rebuild them. While I'm raising a brand new child and a dog and trying to build a brand new marriage. So it was a lot that I couldn't come in weak at all on no front, because I had to establish dominance for myself across everybody in the house, including my husband. I had to figure out how to stand up for myself, even to him. So having to navigate that with the children, it was just like, okay, like when my daughter first came to live with us, I tried the nice, cool, calm, and she would, you ain't my mama, to go crying and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, I'll just talk to your dad. And I thought about that thing. Hell no. I'm the adult. Why am I running from this child?
Man, I will never forget when my ex-wife called me one day when my son was doing something. I said, don't call me no more. I said, you go in there and handle that business. Don't call me no more. Well, his mama gone. I don't care what his mama do. I'll handle his mama. Me and her have a conversation. You go handle that business if you need to handle that business.
My daughter's mom called me a couple of times.
We ain't finna do this.
You live here?
Again.
You pay a bill here?
Can you whoop my ass?
Right. Because I pull up now.
I mean, listen,
we had, a whole
know
situation like that. Where my ex-husband would like placate her, and I was like, well, why don't you just tell her what you really mean? Now, if I just tell her anything, she ain't over here anyway, she don't know. So you actually giving her ammunition to be a fool. And she gonna keep calling over here trying to do stuff. So you gonna mess around and lose your wife messing with your baby mama.
Man, listen.
So you need to handle that.
You know what? And we over our time, but I will say this this is why I have so much respect for people that are adopting for the right reasons. I have so much respect for that because I've known, I grew, my dad, he was friends with a married couple that they did a lot of adopting. They adopted a lot of children. Like I want to say they adopted like 5 kids. They brought a lot of children along. Yeah, man. They did a lot. And I didn't understand it back then because I thought it was just a cool thing that they did it. But now being a parent, now understanding these dynamics that come along with being a step parent, not being there from day one, and you adopting, it's a whole other level. You get children that are born into an environment and the questions are up in the air. The only thing you know is what the social worker know. Ain't no telling what the social worker don't know. And you get a kid that was born. What if their parents was users? What if their parents was abusers and users once they came out? How many years? Them first 3 years of a child's life are so critical to their development. They say serial killers and shit are made within the first 3 years. That is scary when you consider adoption. So to those that do it and it works, just the simple fact that you even going to take that on. I know good and well, me and my wife had a conversation and I said, I ain't with it. I said, maybe we can foster. I don't mind being the in between. Get them in, get them out. Get them in, get them out. Trying to keep them boogers around, man, because
you literally have to rebuild them children.
You have to have the patience. I don't know what kind of patience you got to have to deal with somebody who, man, listen, man, we talk about this. You see us on social media deal with women who the last dude done made a mistake with. You think I want to deal with somebody children? Your kids?
Man, you really got to have. You really got to have the patience of Christ to deal with kids that had been traumatized. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure if right now I have that type of patience. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a special person to rebuild a child or children. That's an honorable work. That definitely needs to be rewarded. That's some work, man. I saw it came up in my memory a few years ago. I shared a video of this Muslim guy. He was Arab that fostered children with terminal illnesses, and the patience and the compassion that he had was like, it's like, man, if I had to point to a live example of Christ, I would direct people's attention to that video, because the tenderness that he had and the care that he showed those kids, like it was unearthly. And that inspired me as a father.
Where did you find that at? Is that a documentary or is there a link?
Shoot, I got to go back into.
You got to go back. Go back, arms when you get a chance. Starting on from now on. I'm gonna get back to doing some curls, man. Hey, damn, my arms. Hey, man, listen. Wait, just wait. I'm gonna get back in there. Wait till I hit y'all with my gym videos. See, y'all be. I don't be running around. But you know what? He can't beat.
We gonna have to have a gym episode come September.
Oh no! Hey, let's do. Hey. Listen,
I'm gonna be the drop this little boy, and I'm gonna be in there talking bars.
We can do that.
See, all I'm gonna do. See, I'm gonna shock you. See, first of all, it's not gonna shock you because then once you like kind of you see me, if you're like, okay, I see him. It's obvious, you know what I'm saying. But see, y'all don't say I don't post no videos. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna be like Beyonce. I woke up like this, whatever that saying that. But hey, man, I'm a strong. You know, I'm just keep it low. I like to catch people off guard.
As a topic one day and things that
hey man, listen, man, y'all think let me tell you, let me just put it like this. Took my old lady to see Creed 3. I was just sitting there like been there, done that. It ain't nothing new. Wait, look at her face. Hey man, you see her face?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen. Let me tell you one thing I've never done. I made a mistake. Oh, this was gonna be one of the topics. But I didn't, but we need to do this when we all get on here. But y'all remember when Facebook groups first jumped off? Facebook groups were a different world. They were the dark side of Facebook. Well, I made a mistake one time of dropping some pictures in there with no shirt on, no nothing. And it was people stole them pictures, and them pictures kept floating around for a couple of years. I'm just saying, bro. Listen, man, listen. Listen, your boy.
If you did it once, you can do it again. Don't talk about it.
No. Listen, listen. This thing stays. This thing stays because it's been years of doing it. What I'm saying is, I have purposely never dropped pictures on social media of me minus shirt. Because I know what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
Well, I didn't see you got your clothes on, so I know what I'm looking at.
Nah, what did I not have?
Wait a minute, what?
Day? That was
what was that?
He turned on his camera for the live, and he had no shirt on.
Yeah,
put some clothes on.
But it wasn't. She didn't really catch the full.
I saw everything, all the tattoos.
She saw the tattoo.
I saw your whole frontage because you was in the camera like this. All chest, just all in the camera.
Nigga did no purpose.
Like, where your clothes at?
She got a bit of a peak. But in all seriousness, man, like, and I'm not saying to brag, but man, for years, when you like even Frank can tell, like Frank been in the gym for how many years now?
Consistently
since like now.
I want to say about 5 or 6.
So I'm just saying this. I've got like 15. Like I've got a long time and muscle memory and all that stuff. And I've been able and honestly, I will say, being in the military is one thing, but then the convenience. I've had so many conveniences with access along the way. Like my office would be right here, and I step out of a door and I can hit a gym walking 70 seconds down the hallway to go get a quick workout in if I want to in between breaks. And I've had that at least 2 locations in my career. So we say 8 years of that. At one point, the military paid for LA Fitness membership for me. Another point, so if they weren't paying for it, I had it. And then we got our standards that we have to maintain. So you combine all those things. It's just almost been a lifestyle for so long that it's almost something I'm regular. Even these dudes know, man. When I came back to Atlanta after all them years, that's why they got on it. All of them. Don't even
Frank,
fix
like, whatever, dude. I surpassed you in less time.
Listen.
He's trying to prove his point now. He got to grab the mic.
Frank, listen. He been trying to get to 200 pounds for a long time.
Hey,
I've been 200 pounds.
You what, 211?
I've been.
No, I'm like, I float in between. Well, when I weighed myself this morning, it was 219.
Oh, look at that. See, that's where I'm trying to get to 219. That was when I was bodybuilding, I was in the 215 range.
See, let's be clear, man. I want to be down to 218 consistently. I would love like that's my I like that 217, but I've been 220 something for so long now. That was like them 200s. I've been playing around with the 200s since.
Don't let him take your shine, Frank.
Hey,
Don't let him take your shine. It ain't about 7 feet tall. We know tall niggas are already heavy. They just start out here because y'all got big feet too.
You like 6'2"?
Me?
No,
I'm 5'10".
You look way taller in your videos.
I'm 6'2".
And you 220 and 6'2". That's actually pretty lean.
That's actually NFL safety.
Yeah.
Small linebacker weight.
Small linebacker. Say it again. Small linebacker.
Listen.
You need to Google your heavyweight 230, sir.
Hey, wait. Go Google your heavyweight boxers.
I'm well aware. I watch sports. I know what the weights are. I'm just saying. But them heavyweights, they can't breathe. That's why they gas out so quick in a UFC fight. Them heavyweight.
But that's all. In all honesty,
can't breathe.
In all honesty, at the most I got to like that 226-ish, and I remember thinking I don't like it, and I like to play basketball and stuff. I said, let me get back down around them low 220s, and I like to be. 218 is my sweet spot. That's like the perfect in between. But if I can ever get down to like 215 with a certain, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for me to get down to 215 and then maintain a certain level of muscle mass. That starts to take a lot.
See, I'm trying to.
That starts to take a lot.
But I got all this booty, and it don't go nowhere.
Cause I like to fly. Like I like to go on a basketball court and still fly. And when you 6'1", you are 6'2". I'm 6'2". When you 6'2" and 225, and you trying to fly at 40 something.
Yeah, my ex-husband is 6'4", 220.
Yeah, see, and he's leaner than me.
He's very.
So it's like so he's at flying where he can fly.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the same weight as him. It's more compact.
He don't play basketball though. He's a baseball player, but he got to like 280 at one point. I rubbed his belly, and he ain't like that.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
I was like, I don't mind a dad, but go on, girl.
That'll.
That man dropped 60 pounds so fast. I was like, dang.
Me and my wife had that conversation. I'm like, man, could you ever imagine me with like a stomach? Could you ever imagine? And she was just like, no. She was like, but if it gets there, it'll probably be okay. And I'm like,
I didn't mind it at all. I didn't care. I mean,
because men, we have our own. I don't think it's a men thing. I think it's a people thing. People have their own projection of self.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they want to meet their own standard, whether it's too skinny, too big, too, you know what I'm saying? People have their own, some dudes don't want to get too small and some dudes don't want to get too big because they have in their brain.
Because gigantic.
Even with my wife at one point, it was back when we the first time we lived together when I was in Dallas for a short time, and I cooked. I'm a cooking booger, but I cooked then. And I would cook all the time. And I would make her these plates and she would, dig in. And it got to a point, we looked at some pictures some time later, and she was like, what the hell? Like we had broke up, got back together, and we looked at them pictures of when we lived together, and then her then and before.
Yeah,
and we was like, what happened? Yeah, oh boy, her mom was like, yeah, girl, you had got buttery right there, Mom. Well, I don't know what you were doing over there. And she said, never again. She said, because it was, I had this running joke. I'm gonna let y'all go up there. I would call her meaty knees.
Who?
Meaty knees.
Meaty knees. Meat, like meaty.
Yeah.
And so I would go up to her knees and I go, meaty.
That's how you do face.
And she was like, cause them legs got good. And I was like, go, I like them legs, dog. Give me them legs. And she was like, never. Wasn't no more kneecap. It was just all meaty.
So disrespectful.
But that's the thing. See, and us men, we might like that, but we got to respect the fact that if you have a standard, that you want to maintain as a woman, then we gotta respect it.
Yeah, I can't wait to September to get back in the gym. I ain't gained no weight with this boy yet, but I can't wait to get back.
It's coming. Oh, it's coming. All right, then,
man. Come down here,
2 hours and 50.
Well, you in Atlanta, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
I ain't far. I'm in Augusta.
I know it. I've been through Augusta. I think Augusta like an hour and 30 minutes.
It ain't far. And I stay on the west side, so I'm even closer.
When I get ready to shoot down there, Atlanta, I'll let you know so we can all crash. Because everybody down there in Atlanta except for me and you.
Yeah.
Everybody down there, Remy down there, the banished one, Mark is down there. And
did you actually banish him?
No. He
banished himself good.
He taking a little time to handle some business. You know,
handle his brain.
All right, then y'all, man, go ahead and have a good night. I appreciate y'all, man.
All right.
End this thing. I might clip out the segment. I'm gonna clip out the parental guidance segment and post that one because I think a lot of people need to check that out.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's definitely a good one. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Bye.